Six Alive Sports presents University of Maine Black Bear Hockey. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. You can't beat the feeling. Coke.
Good evening and welcome to the Alfond Arena in Orono for college hockey as the Maine Black Bears get set to take on the Lakers of Lake Superior State. This is Rich Kimball. The Lakers come into the game tonight with a record of 20-4. The Maine Black Bears at 17-7 on the season. If you've been following the fortunes of the Bears lately, it's been a rough beginning to the new year. Maine was winless in their first 5 games of 1990, but they snapped out of it last weekend with a victory over the Lowell Chiefs on the road, a final score of 7-3. Maine playing a non-league competition this weekend, and they've done very well outside of Hockey East with their 12-2 overall. As for Lake Superior State, no strangers to the Maine Black Bears. They bounced Maine out of the Final Four 2 years ago out at Lake Placid. The Black Bears coming in against a team that's 20-4 overall. Lake Superior State has not lost a game outside of the CCHA. It makes for a great weekend series, and we're excited to be bringing you the opener here tonight. Let's go upstairs right now and join the folks who will be bringing us tonight's game, Scott Smith and Dale Duff.
Rich, thanks very much, and hello everyone. It is going to be an intense weekend. It has already started. The fans are up and going. Two great teams and two contrasting styles, Scott.
Well, the Lakers come out and they hit everything that moves, and Maine's just going to have some great plays tonight and control themselves.
And two of the youngest and two of the best known and controversial coaches in the game.
Well, they're both very young and both very good and have had a lot of success.
And now, let's take a look at our national anthem as performed by the University of Maine Pep Band.
Please rise for tonight's national anthem.
Santilli, the linesmen, they have their work cut out for them, particularly Ned Bunyan. It's going to be an interesting series, and we'll be back with the opening face-off after this break.
Things you can count on for about $1. A day-old frosted donut, about 1,400 calories. A large box of chocolate-covered raisins, about 1,700 calories. A package of double fudge Super Supremes, about 3,500 calories. A vacuum-packed freeze-dried sausage bomb, loaded, about 2,800 calories. A 36-ounce kiwi slushie, about 1,700 calories. A single Tri-State Megabucks ticket worth up to $1 million or more. Now, what would you rather count, calories or dollars? Tri-State Megabucks. Play this week and just imagine.
Christmas tree, $20. Decorated, $92. Turkey and all the trimmings, $135. Gifts for the boys, $366. Phone calls to every relative in America, $54.
If you spend too much enjoying the holidays, now come to Burger King and enjoy yourself for less. For 3 weeks, we'll give you 2 juicy flame-broiled burgers just the way you like them for just $1. For a deal this good, sometimes you've got to break the rules.
Welcome back to Alfond Arena, everyone, and we are set for great college hockey action. The Maine Black Bears and the Lake Superior State Lakers, and play is underway. Scott King is in goal for the Bears, and Darren Madley in goal for the Lakers. This is the Lakers with a shot on in front by Dowd. It's stopped nicely, and play is underway already, and King had to be quick from the opening gun here. Kesmer is out there with Carl Johnson on defense for the Lakers. Jablonski, Jeff Jablonski, Jim Dowd, and Jeff Naparella up front for Frank Anzalone's team. Sean Walsh has out Martin Robitaille, Jim Montgomery, and Brian Downey, along with Christian Lalonde and Keith Carney on defense. Bears trying to get it out through the neutral zone. Jim Burke is on it for the Bears, ahead to Olsen. Now Pellerin goes in deep after. He goes and takes a hit from Jablonski, and both players go down, but Jablonski controls the puck now. Dowd goes down along with the main player, Downey, and on it is Kesmer. Kesmer just flips it to center ice.
Each team's feeling themselves out a little bit here, seeing what's going to happen in this first period.
Olsen just tips it to the neutral zone. On it is Cord Cernich, one of the outstanding defensive players for the Lakers. In the corner is Stauber, and the puck winds up underneath him, so we'll have our first whistle.
Lakers are a real tight checking team. They're going to go right through the man every time. Maine's got to keep their head up. As soon as they dish the puck off, they have to take a look and watch that Laker player coming in to get him.
Two important Maine Black Bears will not play tonight. Guy Perron probably out for the year with a broken wrist sustained out in Alaska. Ken Sulfai has been nursing an injury. They were hoping to have him back this weekend, but obviously won't, at least tonight.
Two key misses for Maine there. They need those two guys in the lineup, especially with this style of play.
Now Tomberlin and head to Campbell, Blair, and Barkley. Mike Barkley breaks in, winds up, and fires it wide, about 3 feet wide to the left side of Madley, who is a freshman goaltender, but he will also be 22 years old next month, so he's more than just a freshman goalie for the Lakers. Now Straub drops the puck, and Campbell Blair will take over for Maine. He'll just dump it in. Tomberlin will go after it for the Bears. The goalie is on it first, though. Now John Hendry for the Lakers to center ice. Maine rides it off. It's Belfay. Ahead it comes to Widmeyer. Widmeyer holds. It's flipped in front. Knocked down. Loose puck. Penalty coming up. Belfay is on it, and we've got our first penalty.
I think Eric Fenn's going to be going off. He hit the Laker goaltender Mattingly as Mattingly came out to try knocking that puck down.
Heavy action in front as the puck was squirting around a little bit. Here's the replay on it.
See Eric Fenton coming in hard here, going right for the puck like he should be, and he bumped the goaltender a little bit. That could be a call. They're giving the penalty to Brian Belfay.
So it wasn't on the goaltender. It was something I assume that they did to John Hendry there, number 19.
2 minutes.
So the senior from Massachusetts will sit out for 2 minutes, and the charge, the penalty is called charging.
Take a few extra steps, Dale. You're going to get called for that.
Keep an eye on Naparelli and Stauber for the Lakers. They're their two big goal scorers on the power play. Cernich just drives it in. I think it hit the main bench, and we've got a whistle.
Puck was caught up in someone's jersey, and they had to pull her back, pulled it offside.
2 years ago, it was the first weekend in April in 1988 in the great little town of Lake Placid, New York, and it was such a great start for the Bears, those two Dave Capuano goals, and then it was all downhill from there, for Maine fans at least. Now Kesmer drives it in. On it first is Mark Astley. Now Jablonski behind the net. Back and teeing it up is Kesmer, but he partially fans on it, and Maine drives it down the other end. Now Astley tips it into the main zone, but Brian Straub is on it for the Bears. He's playing defense with Claudio Stremin. Pellerin is out there as well, along with Martin Robitaille. They're trying to kill off this penalty. We've played 3 minutes, no score between Maine and Lake Superior State. Cernich just drives it in. King can't stop it, so it goes around the dasher. It stays in the zone, and now Scremin fires it out of there.
Maine kills real aggressively, so they're trying to make the Lakers dump the puck into the zone so they can get control of it and ice the puck. They haven't had much luck here so far.
Now on it is Stauber. Fires it around the dasher where Naparella is on it, number 17. Back it'll come to the point to Waite. He'll tee it up and send it over to the other wing. Nice passing by the Lakers, but they can't connect back to Jim Dowd. Now back to the point it'll come. Carl Johnson makes a move, fires it. It's saved in front, and King holds on.
Scott King showing great concentration once again tonight. Every night we see him, we say the same thing. He's right in there always watching the puck and has great concentration early in a game.
And Scott King's mom is in town for the game today. Had a chance to meet her at the luncheon today. Joyce King, all the way from Kamloops, British Columbia. She's in the crowd tonight.
That's a nice little jaunt.
She comes, I guess, once a year and tries to take in 5 or 6 games, tries to plan the schedule so that there'll be a lot of home games, and certainly Maine has a lot of home games, 10 straight, in fact, starting tonight. Now DeVita fires it around the net. On it is Dowd. Check that, Tim Harris, number 8. Carney is working hard to free it up, and finally Maine does. This is Roy ahead to Montgomery, but they can't connect, and DeVita is on it for the Sioux Lakers. He'll drive it in, and that's an icing call.
Maine getting a little break there. Laker defenseman a little excited with the puck and rifles it down.
Sean Walsh today called the Laker defense possibly the best defense in the nation.
Well, they have 33 goals as so far this year, and Maine, I think Maine's defense has 9 goals total this year, so they're definitely powerful.
Very good defensively and obviously very good offensively. Now Sean Walsh sends out Eric Fenton along with Widmeyer. Only 8 seconds left on the Belfay penalty, and they had a false start, and they'll drop it again.
Eric Fenton, a South Portland native, didn't play too much in the beginning of the year, and has showed Coach Walsh that he can play the game.
And Fenton, along with Martin Mercier, getting some playing time because of the injuries. And the old adage is you can never have enough depth, and it's certainly proving with a lot of the main injuries this year. Now Mike Bacchus ahead, driving it into the corner. There's a shot on by the Lakers. It's stopped smartly by Scott King, and the Bears break back. Widmeyer just dumps it ahead, and nobody there to connect for Maine. And back with it is Dave Kesmer for the Lakers. Scremin intercepts, tries to move around. Offside, I believe. Nope, they say that was all right, and Lalonde just drives it in on net, and Maine wants to change up. Penalty is over, so it's back 5-on-5. We've played almost 5 minutes of this game, the first game of a weekend series here at Alfond. First time ever the Lakers have been to Alfond Arena. Now it's Tomberlin moving in for Maine against Kesmer, and Kesmer wins that brief battle and fires it around the dasher. Now it's a shot on wide by Maine. On it is Hendry, but Straub fires it back in for the Bears. Now Kesmer through the neutral zone. He'll just dump it in wide of King, and the defensive core will change up for Frank Anzalone's team. Now the puck squirts in front. Penalty coming up on the Lakers. As you see, Scott King was trying to get off the bench. That's because a whistle was coming up as soon as the Lakers touched up. And so now the Lakers are going to have their first penalty, and let's see what the Bears can do on the power play. We'll take a break in the action. No score between Maine and Lake Superior.
Are so immature. Was that your sister? I'm not sure.
Back at Alfond Alfond Arena. The Bears will begin the power play at the 14:35 mark of the first period. Roy is out there with Olson and Pellerin. Scremin and Blair are on the defense. Now in the corner, Olson, and now Pellerin. This is Randy Olson in front, and Roy can't get a stick on it. Now Scremin. Pellerin tries to back it in, but can't. Now Roy, and it hits the post, I think. Now Blair to Roy. Here it goes to Olson. In front, it's high. Knocked down, shot, score!
Stopped the first shot here. You can see Claudio Scremin sneaking down the backside. He stops the first one, comes right back out to Claudio, and Claudio just sneaks it under his pad. There's a lot of confusion in front. Here we have a little bit different angle coming down. Great pass down to Randy Olson down low. Olson just sees Claudio coming in, and puck just rolls right through there to him through all that confusion, and sneaks right through the pads of Mattingly.
And for Claudio Scremin, it is goal number 3 on the year. He doesn't score a lot of them, but oftentimes they're very important, and this gets the Bears off to a great start.
Well, it's number 10, Dale. Number 10 for the Maine defense. We just got done mentioning that.
And so the Bears score at the 14:04 mark, and they draw first blood. Let's see what happens next. Boards, Montgomery is there with Stauber. Kesmer has the puck now for Lake Superior. Through the neutral zone, they can't connect, and Jim Burke is on it for the Bears first. Kesmer, with this time, will wind and fire it. Burke intercepts one more time. Now Kearney steps ahead and keeps on moving. Kearney wants to move in and does. He'll shoot it. It's stopped by Mattingly. Puck is loose, and the Lakers take over. Great rush up ice by Keith Kearney, the sophomore defenseman for the Bears. Now Doug Waite moves in, but that's offside.
Keith Kearney showing why he was on that junior select team over Christmas time. Showing great poise, coming in one-on-one with the defenseman, goes right around and has great control of the puck and comes right back out in front.
Also playing on that team against the Russians, of course, was Kesmer as well.
Sean knows him fairly well.
Yeah. Claudio Scremin from British Columbia gets the Bears off.
His mother's in town tonight too. BC people like to travel out.
Well, Scott King's mom has seen a couple of nice saves, and Claudio's mom has seen a nice goal, and everything is happy so far tonight. Now against the boards, Ruwaweather is hauled down on the play. Now another player hauled down as Mercier goes to the board. Barkley is on it. He'll get a shoot, and Mercier is knocked down on the play. And all of a sudden, you see a bit of chippiness setting in on the part of the Lake Superior team. Dangerous pass in front, intercepted by Maine. Scremin partially fans on that pass, but does get it up ahead to Belfay. Now Lalonde sweeps it ahead, but back after it. And both teams will try to change up on the play now. Now Widmeyer tries to step around Bacchus and does. Belfay falls down, and Laprade knocks it in for the Lakers. Now Bacchus is on it. King will play it to Scremin. Widmeyer against Blum. Bacchus fires it around behind the net. On it is Breslin, Tim Breslin. Blair and other Maine players tie him up. The puck squirts through the neutral zone. Maine will change up again. Quick changes by both teams.
A lot of players seem to be falling down here so far in this first 5 minutes.
Ken Blum out there for the Lakers, number 10. It's swept on to Scott King, and the Lakers change up one more time. Maine would like to catch him on a change if they can, but cannot quite do it. Naparala is back there. This is the Lakers' #1 line. Keep an eye on this one. Jablonski, Dowd, and Naparala threw up. Intercepts Jablonski, tries to move in. He's hauled down on the play. Olsen goes in hard against Naparala. Back to the sideboards and intercepted by Carney. He'll dump it in, but that's offside. And bit by bit, second by second, you can feel things pick up a little bit, and the hitting is getting just a little bit tougher, Scott.
Both teams are getting more intense, and that's the way they like to play it here in Maine. Sean Walsh knows that, and I'm sure he's prepared the guys all week to play that type of game.
Seems to be very reserved.
I think, with him getting older a little bit, he's a little more relaxed.
And there's Frank Anzalone, one of the outstanding young coaches in the game. He's had much success at Lake Superior. You have to give him credit. He's very controversial, but he's got an awfully nice program going. National champion 2 years ago. Now Carney, great move to keep that puck in the zone. Brian Downey back to Montgomery. Montgomery shoot, score! Jim Burke.
Give a lot of credit to Brian Downey. He made that play happen. Great concentration, real strong on the puck coming down the side. He just dished it over to Jimmy Montgomery, and Jimmy Burke saw that, anticipated, slid up right into the high slot, and had an empty net to shoot at. You can see Jimmy coming down the back door there. Jim Montgomery, great concentration, just slides it to Jim, and boom, that one's in the net. Another Maine defenseman, Dale.
Yeah, here it is from the other angle, and if you keep an eye on Jimmy Burke right there, #6. And if you had to pick two guys to score the first 2 goals, the least expected, probably it would be Jim Burke and Claudio Scremin.
Well, I'm a little partial to defense, and I love to see it, Dale.
I do too, but they are not known for their goal scoring, but you look up and it's 2-0 thanks to them. Now there's another shot that goes wide. Tarmelin almost had a third goal. He flicked that thing just high and wide to the left side. We've reached the halfway mark here of the first period, and the Bears have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Now Cernich moves in, tries to go around Barkley on the play. Now 4 players go to the boards, and will we get a whistle? They try to keep this thing moving this year, and indeed they do. Now Moger tries to jam it in front. He's on it against Christian Lalonde now. Moger tries to move on it, held off the play by Christian. Still Moger with the puck. Now Lalonde brings him down, and he's going to go off.
Well, Christian was doing battle there, and he just got his stick up a little bit and pulled him down.
We'll take a break in the action. The Bears have a 2-0 lead.
Mom, how long would it take to get to the moon?
Depends on the spaceship. Now, come on, it'll take us an hour to get to the Children's Museum.
Ma, what time is it on Pluto? Can we move to Mars someday?
Maybe this weekend.
Come on, Mom.
Wait up.
Hey, Mom!
How could you have known the space exhibit ended last week?
I'm not going in there.
You could have called.
We're the one for your New England telephone.
Part of the NYNEX family.
You hear Christian, he doesn't keep his feet moving. And when you don't keep, you have to keep your feet moving in order to ride the man out. And he started coasting, and boom, he pulled him right down. It's almost a natural instinct to just keep pulling with those arms.
And so the Bears are shorthanded now for the second time in this first period. Robitaille is out there with Olsen and Carney and Pellerin to kill the penalty for Maine. Doug Waite drives it in deep. Jablonski is on it, and now Dowd. Behind the net, it'll go to Naparala. Trying to work it around to get some free ice. Maine continues to play good defense in that box. They try to squirt him around in front, and Jablonski keeps taking a whack at it. That puck somewhere is underneath Scott King, and the whistle finally blows. That was dangerous for a second or two.
Lakers showing great intensity around the Maine net. Maine defensemen have to move those guys out of there. Let Scott King see the puck and be able to get it covered. You see Scott Pellerin down low forward. He's got to take control of that, man. You see Scott King desperately trying to get it, and Jablonski just gets in a three-point stand, and you're not going to move him very easily.
Meanwhile, Christian Lalonde sits in the box with another 1:34 left on the penalty. Naparella remains out there along with Pete Stauber, Doug Waite, Jim Dowd, and Carl Johnston. That's the Lakers' power play. Roy would like to get that thing out of the zone and does. Now Maine fires it down the zone. Claudio Scremin did that chore.
When you're killing a penalty, Dale, you really have to be strong on the puck. Maine forwards, when they get a chance to ice it, they have to take total advantage of that and get the puck down.
Now the Lakers come charging. This is Stauber trying to move around Carney, loses the puck, but then goes to the corner and fights with Scremin. Now Stauber trying to work it back to the point, but Montgomery sweeps it out of there.
Jimmy Montgomery playing great hockey this year for Sean.
2-0 Maine, 8.5 minutes left in this first period of play. The Bears, with goals from two defensemen, have the lead. In break the Lakers, in front, it's in the air, and the net comes off its mooring, and they blow the whistle, and that was helped along by the Maine defenseman. Let's see if they call a penalty there. No, Maine's going to get away with this one, I think.
Jimmy Down comes right down the side boards there, and you have to force that man at the blue line so he can dump the puck. Maine defenseman slid in a little bit, and he was able to walk right around, and he's a goal scorer. He's going to come right out and try getting that puck in. Jimmy Burke, watching the puck, picks up his man, but then drives him into the net a little bit. Scott King just trying to get control of it.
And immediately when the posts come up, they blow the whistle and stop the play, and that is big advantage Maine.
Trying to get it secure, trying to get that net in there. Jimmy Burke's a big man pushing that net around.
They're on magnets, right? The posts are held in there by magnets.
Yep, they're little posts on magnets, as you say, and they break off pretty easily. You know, it doesn't take much to knock a net off its moorings.
But it saves injuries.
Saves a lot of injuries.
Now they're doing a little ice repair work in front of the net, but while we have a moment, it just seems to me that the Lakers seem a bit sluggish. Does it to you?
Well, it's a long road trip,
yeah.
Dale, and that takes a lot out of players. You know, they got in last night, and they, you know, it takes a lot. Rough night in the hotel last night, and a little skate this morning. It'll take them a little bit to get their game in order.
It took the Lakers 6 hours to drive from Sault Ste. Marie to Grand Rapids, then to fly out of here. Here are the standings in the latest NCAA poll. You see the Lakers are number 6, and the Bears are tied for 12th. There's a story behind all of that, too, we'll get at when we have a moment. Neither coach very happy with the latest poll. The Bears clear the zone, and now only 20 seconds left on the penalty to Maine Scremin. Now Mulger. This is Kesmer. Dan Kesmer drives it in behind the Maine net. On it first is Mulger. Now Breslin, number 16, fights with Jim Burke. Behind the net is Mulger again. And the Lakers clear it free. Jablonski. Scremin pins his man to the board. They keep the puck moving, though. They have to. The whistle will not blow. Not this year. That's a rule change. Now it's Jablonski behind the net. Wants to wheel and deal, but Burke won't let him. So he'll come back the other way and try to wheel against Scremin. He'll move it in front to stop. Another shot on. King is down. The puck is loose, but it's out of the sight of the referee, and the whistle finally blows. That was very dangerous. Scott King was screened in front by at least 3 or 4 different players. He didn't really know where that puck was.
That's what the Lakers are known for, creating a lot of confusion in front of that net and continually getting hard shots on net. You can see Jimmy Burke, it just missed his stick, and he tried winging that baby out of there, but no luck. And then all the fun starts. This isn't fun for a goaltender when he can't see the puck and there's all those big lugs out there falling around him.
Pretty darn hard to stop it when you can't see what you can't stop what you can't see. 7:16 left in this first period. The Bears, on goals from Jim Burke and Claudio Scremin, have a 2-0 lead. The penalty is over to Lalonde. It's back skating 5 aside. In steps David DeVita, the big defenseman for the Lakers, and Straub is on it for Maine. He'll fire it to the open corner, but the Lakers are on it first. Campbell Blair trying to tie up his man. In the corner it goes. Bacchus. Barkley is on him, and the puck goes to center ice. Now Tomlin moves in deep. The Laker man goes down, and on it, though, is another one intercepted by Blair, who keeps it in the main zone. Then it's tipped to center ice. Another player goes down. You're right, Scott. I don't know whether the ice is a bit soft or something, possibly. A lot of players going down. Now Roy, great stick move. Ahead to Pellerin, back to Roy, but he can't get through that last man. It looked good for a while.
Jean-Yves Roy knows where that puck is at all times on the ice.
Now Doug Waite fires it in for the Lake Superior team. On it is Pete Stauber. To the corner it goes. Maine is on it now. Scott Pellerin, wing to wing. He tries to connect with Carney, but can't. Pellerin gives Waite a wrap, and the Lakers drop it in. 2-0. The Bears lead, looking for win number 18 on the year. The Lakers are looking for win number 21. Two of the powerhouse teams in college hockey you're watching tonight. Olsen just dumps it in deep. Pellerin is on it for the Bears. In breaks Montgomery, and he'll drop it for him. Now it's in front. Olsen tries to tip it in front as Pellerin is there, and he got knocked into the net, and he's getting up slowly.
Well, Scott's a tough player, and he likes to get into that type of activity. Got caught going backwards down through the slot trying to control the puck, and boy, he ran his back right into the post there, and right there is a perfect example of why those nets should be able to come off the moorings like that. If that net wouldn't have moved, Scott Pellerin probably would still be on the ice, Dale.
And you see Darren Madley, a freshman goaltender from Ontario, but as I mentioned before, he will be 22 years old tomorrow. He played 3 years of junior hockey, so he is more than just your average freshman out of high school.
Well, they play 3 years in juniors. You pick up a lot of experience. That junior level isn't quite as high as Division I college, but you still see the same biscuit every night.
Frank Anzalone said yesterday when I talked to him that he thought maybe Madley would be his goalie of the future. And meanwhile, Mr. Steady for the Bears, Scott King. What a great goalie he has been over the years. He will walk away from Maine with almost every goaltending record. He has almost all of them now.
The big key with Scott King is he's mentally prepared for every game and every shot.
Lalonde winds up and fires, but is blocked in front, and it reaches the screen behind the net, so we'll have another face-off. Yeah, Scott King is so calm and cool, collected all the time. Outstanding student, pre-med student. Sean Wall says, I'll make a note of that play and talk about that one in between periods.
It's interesting some of the things he gets on that clipboard.
There's a shot on that's knocked wide. We'll have another face-off as that puck wound up in the net for a moment.
Good thing we have that screen up there. Some fan would might beat Ned for a little dessert.
That was coming about 80 miles an hour, I think, on the radar gun.
Where's Coach Winkin when we need him?
Yeah. Well, Robitaille is out there now for Maine, along with Downey and Montgomery. Christian Lalonde and Claudio Scremin are out there. And a little mix-up on the wing between Robitaille, between Montgomery, rather.
It's very important that Maine stays mentally into the game tonight, so they don't get caught up in any retaliation penalties. Scott Pellerin getting worked on a little bit. A little extra activity down on the ice. And we're going to get a penalty.
Yeah, I think the referee warned them the first time, and now he's going to call it. But will it be matching penalties, or is it just Lake Superior? It looks like it's just going to be the Lakers. Naparella.
Naparella, a very intense player. He doesn't want Maine to have any chances in that offensive zone, so he's going to, or in the defensive zone, so he's going to play tough, and he got caught there.
Well, and that's got to make Frank Anzalone Boyle, because that's about as silly as penalty as you would want.
Well, on a play like that, it's very surprising that two men didn't go, one Maine player and the Laker player. Obviously, referee Ned Bunyan thought he was the aggressor, I guess, huh? And so the Bears will have another power play. Remember the last time they scored on it. And he's probably wishing he wouldn't have taken that one. He'll really wish if the Bears score, because I'm sure Anzalone will give him a piece of his mind. In front, Pellerin couldn't get the stick on it, as Jablonski did a great job holding him off. Into the corner it goes. Maine trying to keep it in. Campbell Blair does. Now Olsen, the puck squirts up in the air. Dowd can't clear the zone. Now Scremin and Olsen. Back it comes to Claudio. He'll tee it up. Shot in front, hung on to by Madley. A lot of confusion in front. There's nothing wrong with getting that shot right in on net. About 8 inches off the ice, right at the pads, and Madley had to go down and collect that like he was catching a football. Trying to maintain that rebound here. We can see the shot. Claudio sees a little confusion, says, heck, I'm going to let her go. Had a little luck already tonight, and Madley came right out. And looked like it might have been tipped by that Laker stick a little bit, and had to be even quicker on it. 2-0, the Bears have the lead. Lake Superior wins the draw and sends it down the ice. 1.5 minutes now left on the penalty to Naparella of the Sioux Lakers. Lake Superior currently number 2 in the CCHA. And the Bears in a big dogfight with several teams in Hockey East. Maine having trouble getting something together for the moment, but Randy Olsen will try to crank it up. He'll bring it in, but it's offside as a Scremin or someone just got in ahead of him. It's nice to see Scott King move that puck up to his forwards. He passes the puck better than most forward and defensemen on the Maine team. He's got great accuracy, and all his passes are right on the money. It's vitally important nowadays for goaltenders to be able to move the puck. And he's had a lot of success helping Matt Deljudas, the other Maine goalie, in that. Matt gives Kinger all kinds of credit for helping him in that part of his game. Like having a third defenseman out there, Dale. All right, 55 seconds now left on the Maine power play. Robitaille is out there with Montgomery and Downey, Carney, and Straub. This is Brian Straub in front, shoot, score! Jim Montgomery was all alone. Brian Straub anticipated that one all the way up the ice. He broke right in, and Jimmy Montgomery took a hard check at the center zone and went right to the net where he's supposed to go, and Straub just sent it right down to him. You know what I can't believe is that the Bears have 3 goals by 3 defensemen. You can see him, he just anticipated that so nice, and Jimmy Montgomery put that one in. We'll have to give Brian Straub an assist on that one. Take that back, you're right. Montgomery gets the goal, Straub gets the big assist. Great pass. Laker defenseman let Jimmy Montgomery walk right in behind him, and he's all alone. And for Montgomery, that is goal number 12 on the year. And that was another successful power play by the Black Bears. They've scored 2 on the power play. It's 3-0 Maine with just under 4 minutes to go. They have definitely controlled this first period against Lake Superior. It's real important for Maine not to change any of the things they're doing out here. They're finishing their checks, making good passes, and you know, you do the things that got you there. And it's, you know, I see a lot of teams get a good lead and then they start changing things. Some guys may be thinking about points, and next thing you know, Lake Superior, you know, could be right back in the game. And they give another assist to Martin Robitaille, so give Robitaille and Straub the assist, and Montgomery scores the goal. 2 of the 3 goals coming from Maine defensemen. And we've got a penalty on that last stoppage in play. Tomberlin is going off for Maine, and not sure what the call is there. It happened after the whistle, I guess. And so Maine will be shorthanded. Now Jablonski moves it in. The Lakers break in Mulger. Behind the net it goes.
and they're calling the penalty on Tomlin for boarding, I believe it was. So he took somebody to the boards and got whistled off for 2 minutes. Now the Lakers on offense. Back to the point. Kesmer tries to wind up. It's blocked in front, and Whitmire sends it to central ice to this middle of the ice. Now Moger tries to move it in, and does. Still Haynes onto the puck. Cernich fires it in behind the net. They try to work it in front, but there's no other Laker there. Only Martin Robitaille. He can't clear it. It's loose in front. Jablonski against Lalonde. Now on it is Cernich. He'll fire it to the open wing, but only Maine players are there.
Martin Robitaille with a real smart dump in there. He just let the puck go down nice and soft to the Laker zone and burned off 5 seconds on the clock.
Now Kesmer drives it in. Fighting hard for it is Dowd. Tipped in front, but did not reach King. Now Johnson on the point. Knocks it in deep, but Carney is on it for Maine. Can't clear it. Johnson steps up, fires it. It's blocked, and it gets up into the screen behind the net.
Great block by Jimmy Montgomery. It's always nice to see a forward go down and eat a shot like that.
Well, the Maine fans very happy with what's happened so far. I haven't heard the attendance figures yet, but it certainly looks like another sellout, which would be number 73 in a row here at Alfond Arena.
Jimmy Montgomery catching that one right off the hand. That probably smarts a little bit.
And he will step off the ice and get a rest. As Barkley comes out there now, along with Jim Burke and Carney and Mercier to kill off the remainder of this penalty. 25 seconds left on the penalty to Tomlin. Now on it is Pete Stauber. Behind the net it'll come. The Lakers rather back to the point where Waite is on it. They'll drive it in deep. Carney scrambling with 2 Lake Superior players. Dowd rubs it to the board. Behind the net is Stauber. He'll try to jam it in front and can't quite do it. Good play by Scott King to prevent that. Now there's a shot on in front. Dowd keeps whacking away at it. Finally, they blow the whistle.
Jimmy Burke left down in front with 2 Laker players. Keith Carney was out on almost to the blue line there. Sure, he's going to hear a little heat from Sean on that one.
There's a break in the action. Our score is Maine 3, Lake Superior nothing. We will come back after this.
Once again this year, the real estate specialists of ERA will sell more homes than anyone else in Maine. We'll do it with more offices in every part of the state, with services like the ERA Home Protection Plan, which protects major built-in home appliances. That will help your home sell faster for a better price. So when you need real estate services, remember the name the people of Maine made #1, ERA. Each office independently owned and operated.
There you see it, a minute and a half, just over a minute and a half left in this first period of play. It has been all Bears so far. Goals from Jim Burke, Claudio Scremin, and Jim Montgomery, and the Bears have a 3-0 lead. The power play is over now for the Lakers, 5-on-5, as Whitmire can't break out. On it is Smith, Michael Smith from Winnipeg, Manitoba, knocks it back in for the Lakers. Now Doug Laprade is out there. This is Lake Superior's 4th line. He's trying to move it in front and does a one-handed shot, and King holds on. Boy, Doug Laprade just wouldn't say no, and he was held off by one Maine player and got a one-handed shot on Scott King.
Well, we're going to have penalties here off to the side of the net after we see this save. Scott King just picks that up and over to the right of the screen there. We see a little action in front. Claudio Scremin and
we're going to have matching penalties. Hendry is going off and Scremin is going off, so apparently they're not calling that hold on Barkley, that they're calling something else.
These guys had their sticks up a little bit on the side of the net, doing a little dueling. I think a linesman might even have called that one.
And so Scott King stays steady in net, and for the next couple of minutes will skate for far side as Claudio Scremin goes off for Maine, and John Hendry goes off for the Lakers. Smith tees it up. It's a clear shot. Stopped and a score as it squeaks through the pads. Michael Smith for the Lakers on a goal that Scott King, I think, wishes he had back.
Well, right off the faceoff, Scotty King hugging the right post, and he got caught sliding across into the middle to take on that shot from the point, and I don't think he was really set up too well to take that shot.
It comes with 1:07 left in the first period, and boy, that's a great momentum thing for the Sioux Lakers to take into the locker room after getting outplayed for 19 minutes here in the first period.
I like the name, but I don't like the goal, Dale.
All right, here's the goal. They give the assist to Doug Waite. Smith gets the goal.
We can see from the shot on the point, Scott King, there was a little bit of a 5-hole there between the pads opened up, and the puck just dribbled through there.
And Straub, number 23 for Maine, almost got to that puck before it crossed the line. And so it's 3-1 Maine with now 1 minute to go in the first period. It's been great college hockey action, hasn't it? Now Maine breaks in. Lalonde tees it up. It's gloved by Madeley, and he'll hold on. Great glove save with the right glove by left glove by Darren Madeley as Lalonde, who is very much of an offensive defenseman.
Well, Christian played forward his first 3 years here, and he's got a heck of a shot, and he let a bomb go there on Madeley and pulled it up with the glove. Christian thinks, well, maybe I better try another one.
Okay, give me another stick.
Let's try that one, yeah.
Pellerin out there with Roy now, and Carney and Burke. Remember, we're 4-on-4 as matching minor penalties to Hendry and Scremin. And they will be out for the remainder of this first period and into a few seconds into the second period. Keith Carney will just dump it in the zone. Maine will go after it, but Astley is on it first for Lake Superior. He'll come up through center ice and keep on moving. Mark Astley breaks in, shoots, it goes wide of King. To the corner is Pellerin, and he'll just sweep it away. That'll be icing on Maine. The faceoff will come back down the other end. Dangerous play there for Maine as nobody really picked up Astley. Mark Astley rushed up ice.
Astley looks like he had some jets on his skates there, Dale. He was just flying. Jimmy Burke did the right thing, though. Instead of letting him come into the middle, he kind of forced him out wide a little bit and cut down on Ashley's angle, and Scott King came up with the save.
Maine with 8 shots on goal so far, and the Lakers have 7.
Here we can see the rush by Ashley, and he just went to the outside, and Jimmy Burke just tried cutting down the angle and didn't really have anything to shoot at, so he said, I'll shoot it behind the net.
On it is Keith Carney, the defenseman from Rhode Island for Maine. Now Barkley can't control, and Dowd brings it in, but it's offside. Lake Superior. Lake Superior State University in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and their 35-year-old coach, Frank Anzalone, very outspoken. He's a Brooklyn, New York native, coached in the Netherlands and other places, has really built a powerhouse program at Lake Superior.
He's had great success in recruiting in the Midwest area itself. A lot of players from Michigan and Minnesota, and he recruits a lot in the USHL, United States Hockey League. That's out in the Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and up into Canada. There's a junior league out there, and he recruits heavily in that league where he used to coach.
I think he likes to play up the idea that they're still kind of what you might call the Rodney Dangerfields of college hockey. As play expires here in the first period, Maine will go in with the locker room. But Lake Superior, very much a powerhouse team, and yet not a lot of people know about them around the country, and I think Frank likes to play that up a little bit. But the Bears got the better of this first period of play as they get goals from Claudio Scremin, Jim Burke, and Jim Montgomery. And the Lakers got a late goal from Michael Smith, and it's 3-1 Maine after 1 period. We'll be back for intermission after this.
the girl of my dreams. She taught me what real love means. You can't beat it. The feeling you get when your love is the real thing. Hi, Daddy. Can't beat the feeling.
Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the feeling.
And what is your field of expertise, Mr. McDonald?
Public relations.
Oh, and you know that the public prefers the taste of Kentucky nuggets to your chicken McNuggets by almost 3 to 1. And that your McChicken sandwich isn't made with the Colonel's blend of 11 herbs and spices.
Yes, sir.
Yet you still sell chicken?
We do.
We? Who are your accomplices?
Captain Crook and the Hamburglar.
Mr. McDonald!
Taste our best. $1.99 for the Colonel's chicken sandwich and fries, or Kentucky nuggets and fries.
Black Bear basketball action on 6 Alive continues on Saturday afternoon with a doubleheader. Coach Trish Roberts' Lady Black Bears, led by center Rachel Bouchard and guard Kathy Iconetta, take on the Hartford Hawks at 1 o'clock. Then the men will hit the hardwood at the Bangor Auditorium to round out an exciting afternoon of college hoops. Join me, Bill Green, and Tony Hamlin Saturday beginning at 1 o'clock on the station you count on for sports, 6 Alive.
Welcome back to Alfond Arena. At the end of the first period, the Bears have a 3-1 lead. And things look very good indeed for the Bears, except for that last minute of play. And I'm sure that Sean Walsh isn't too happy giving up that goal with a minute to go.
Well, it was, no one likes to get scored on with a minute left in the period. And I'm sure they talked about a little bit. There was a little lack of communication out there. The wings should have been out on the points right away. But it's one goal, and it's over with, and they can't really worry about it now. They have 40 minutes left to play, Dale.
Anything surprise you in that first half period?
Not really. I mean, I know Maine can play with anyone in the nation. They've proven that. And it's real interesting to point out there's been so much talk about how aggressive Lake Superior plays. I have to say Maine had out-hit them in this period and played more aggressive, and the scoreboard shows it.
All right. Well, at the end of the first period is 3-1 Maine. We're going to go downstairs where Rich Kimball is standing by. Rich?
Okay, thanks very much, Dale and Scott. It is the end of the first period with Maine leading by a score of 3-1. And joining us between periods is Maine's athletic director, Kevin White. And Kevin, exciting hockey this year at the university. We've had some great teams come in. When you look back at the Dexter Classic, a team like Lake Superior State coming in. For the fans, it's been a real treat.
It's really been excellent hockey. We've had some of the best teams in the country in here, and our young team is coming along pretty darn well as they're playing well tonight again. So the coaches and our players, we're pleased with the progress.
All right, let's talk about your job. It has been busy for you ever since you arrived here on the scene at Maine. Lots of things to keep you busy. Most recently, the hiring of a football coach. Everybody up here, players and staff, seem to be very excited about the new man on the job, Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, we're really pleased. Kirk is fitting in very well. Players are excited. Again, we went through a little grieving period. We lost somebody that was rather infectious, and the players really like Tom. And thank God we've been able to replace him with somebody that has an equally, I guess, as infectious personality, maybe in his own way, and certainly knows the game well. Comes with a real fine background and a little East Coast connection. And playing in the Yankee Conference isn't going to hurt Kurt either. We're looking for someone to just pick up the pieces and take us to the next inning.
Well, it seems like the players are very sure of themselves and confident in the fact that they've got the personnel that can do it, regardless of the change in coaches, and that they're going to go out and work hard for themselves and also for the new coach.
Yeah, there's no doubt that they will, Rich. We've got some outstanding young people on that football team, and we've got some solid leadership in some of the key positions and the skill positions, and I don't think we'll miss a beat. I think we're going to be fine.
All right, what about money? There's been a lot of talk this week and a lot of discussions between the university and the folks in Augusta. Budget cuts a real top priority right now for people around the state of Maine, and some arrows have been thrown at the athletic program. What's your response been to all of this?
Well, we're suffering, and we'll suffer just like everybody else within the university community. We've taken our hit, and we're taking a hard look at different places within our budget to try to accommodate what we've been asked to reduce. And I think at times like this, it just hurts everybody, and it hurts the entire university. And unfortunately, when you look beyond the academic program, the first place you tend to look is athletics. And I can understand that. We're here for our primary purpose and mission is academics, and but we're going to continue to do the very best we can athletically with the funds that we're afforded.
All right, Kevin, thanks for joining us between periods here tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Kevin White, athletic director at the University of Maine. We'll be back. Our intermission continues with the Maine Black Bears leading the Sioux Lakers of Lake Superior by a score of 3-1.
Save your dough. For a limited time, Domino's Pizza has a New Year's deal. 2 pizzas each with 1 topping for only $10.95. So call Domino's Pizza on the double. We'll be there in 30 minutes or less, hot and fresh. 2 pizzas just $10.95. Call Domino's Pizza. Nobody delivers better. Offer.
Get 2 one-item original pizzas for only $10.95. That's right, just $10.95 for both pizzas. Additional toppings are extra. This offer won't last long, so call your local Domino's Pizza today.
Hi, I'm Frank Goodwin from Bates & Cunningham Volvo in Topsom. We at Bates & Cunningham are proud to introduce the new Volvo 240 model. Once again, Volvo has built reliability and safety into a comfortable automobile. We at Bates & Cunningham are pleased to announce this new addition to the Volvo line for $15,995. That's correct, $15,995. So, why don't you come into Bates & Cunningham and get that Volvo quality at a Bates & Cunningham price.
It's a new year with new models of Sealy Ultra Premium bedding, so Green Mountain Furniture is closing out last year's with the ultimate guarantee. Sleep on a Sealy Posturepedic Ultra Premium sleep set for 30 days, and if you're not completely satisfied, return it for an exchange or a cheerful refund. And if that's not enough, we'll give you sheets, pillowcases, and the frame absolutely free. All this plus guaranteed satisfaction at your below pricing store.
Green Mountain Furniture has more than meets the eye.
Route 16, Ossipee, New Hampshire.
Back at the Alfond Arena between first and second periods, Maine leading Lake Superior State 3-1. The Black Bears got off to a 3-0 lead, and then the Sioux Lakers scoring with just about a minute to go in the period. Joining us now, our second guest of between periods, is Maine's outstanding player, Guy Perron, who will not be around for a while. Guy suffered an injury a couple of weeks ago. For the folks who may not know, Guy, what's the extent of the injury that we can
Well, I went to see the doctor yesterday morning. He told me it's probably around middle of March. I should be back, you know, without a cast, but I don't know if the team will be still playing, so I don't know yet.
This has to be frustrating to you. You were seemingly coming out of a slump, starting to play pretty well. The team was going strong, and then this happens. Is it tough?
Yeah, it's a little bit tough, I think. You know, I want to be a part a little bit more, especially because it's my senior year, and, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, you get back of an injury, and then you come back with another one. But I guess, you know, it just gave us a little bit more time to the guys in the locker room to, you know, to go hard and play the game. So,
team in the past has always responded pretty well to injuries as somebody steps in and does the job. And so far, you've gotten a lot of support from people who weren't getting a lot of playing time before.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good thing for the team. I think, like you said, when a guy is injured, somebody pick up the slack, and that's what you need in this hockey team.
Well, one of your roles on the team is as captain, as one of the leaders of the team. You're still involved in that and trying to get the guys fired up and being a part of the team even though you're not on the ice.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday I had a meeting with Coach Walsh, and he already found me a job for the rest of the season, and you know, it's just it's fine for me, you know, to be a part of the team and to do everything I can to help the team. And even if I don't play on the ice, I can probably do something else off the ice. So that's great.
All right, Guy, what do you think of this first period? The team looked pretty tough.
Yeah, definitely. I think like I know, and somebody other knows. Lake Superior is not a team who's going to give up. They already came strong in the second period, and in the third, and as long as we keep working hard, we'll see what's going to happen.
All right, Guy, good luck. Get that cast off so we can get you back for the playoffs, hopefully. Guy Perron of the Maine Black Bears, they lead at 3-1. We'll come back with the second period when we return in just a moment.
You better get ready, Dad.
For what, son?
For Frank Pomelo.
For Frank Parmelos?
Yeah, this is your home furnishing train and it's headed to Augusta.
And the cargo's for Frank Parmelos?
All except for the bubble gum, that's for me.
Are you sure your train is big enough? You know, Frank Parmelos has a huge inventory of home furnishings.
There's 6 more trains coming behind this one.
Oh, well that ought to handle it then.
That's how come Frank Pomelos can keep their prices so low.
You know, I think you're gonna go far. You mind if I hitch a ride?
Sure, Dad. Hop aboard.
Speaking about family matters, here's Dr. Judd Smith.
Your loved one has died. The death of a loved one hurts, and there is no easy way around the pain, but you can learn to cope with your loss. I'm Dr. Judd. Losing a loved one means feeling lost. You may be in shock at first. You may also have feelings of denial, guilt, panic, anger. Accept these emotions and express them. No one can comfort you unless you let them in. And talk to a friend, clergy, support group, or professional. And don't be afraid to cry. You need to let your feelings out. And finally, give your grief time to run its course. Heal in your own way and in your own time. Death ends a life, not a relationship. Try to live as your loved one would want you to live and plan a future you can look forward to.
Watch 6 Alive and Dr. Judd Smith, because family matters.
Well, the scoreboard shows the Bears scoring 3 goals, and what's kind of interesting is the Lakers have given up only an average of 2.9 goals per game this year. So already the Bears have done in the Lakers in terms of that. So.
Well, definitely a little payback, Dale. We see the first goal here. Nice pass out from the side of the net there by Randy Olson. Claudio Scremin just pulls this puck down and lets it go, and it just sneaks through the Lakers goaltender.
And for Claudio Scremin, it was goal number 3 on the year, and it came at just 5 minutes into the game. This is goal number 2, another Maine defenseman.
Jimmy Burke anticipating a nice pass from Martin Robitaille, and he just puts this puck right in the empty net practically. Some people in the booth here could have probably put that one in, Dale. Martin Robitaille stops right after he goes over the blue line and just feeds a nice pass over to Berkey, and Berkey lets it go. Won't really see the great angle here, but Jimmy just sets it in, and
that's the Montgomery goal.
That's Jimmy Montgomery's goal. Another goal where he was wide open in front and had pretty much of an empty net just to shoot at. That was Maine's 3rd goal.
That came at the 15:57 mark of the first period.
Little different view here. Straub just fakes a shot and just slides it down to Jimmy Montgomery. He just tips it right in the open net.
Kind of feel badly for Madley there because there's nothing he could do. A great fake by Straub on that pass.
Straub pulled the defense up, and Jimmy Montgomery slid behind, and he was really one-on-one with the goaltender and was able just to slip it through his pads.
And so here are the numbers. Claudio Scremin with assists from Roy and Olson made it 1-0. At the 5:56 mark, Jim Burke got his 3rd goal of the year. Give Jim Montgomery and Brian Downey the assist to make it 2-0 Maine. Jim Montgomery with the goal. Assists to Straub and Robitaille. It's 3-0 Maine. And then Michael Smith scored a goal. Doug Waite gets an assist. It came with just about a minute to go in that first period, and that's where we stand. Shots on goal pretty much even at 9-8 in favor of Lake Superior. This is the 2nd meeting ever between these 2 teams. As we mentioned at the top of the show, these 2 teams met in Lake Placid at the Final Four 2 years ago. First period statistics, quality shots, pretty much even, everything pretty much even, although Lake Superior has done a much better job on the faceoffs. But the Bears lead where it counts. It's 3-1 as we begin period number 2 in front of another sold-out crowd at Alfond Arena. Montgomery slides it in. Remember, we're skating 4-on-4 as we've got matching penalties to Hendry of Lake Superior and Scremin of Maine for another 25 seconds. Jablonski tried to move in. Maine skates out with it. Martin Robitaille moves in 1-on-1. He'll wait for help, decide to bring it back to the neutral zone, and wind up again. Now Dowd on it, bangs in with Robitaille. It'll come back to Kesmer, who moves in. Now moves in, slides it in front. There's a shot by Dowd. Great save by Scott King. Pellerin moves it back for the Bears up the left wing. He'll wind up and fire it wide. It'll come back to the point where Olsen tries to keep it in and does. Behind the net, Pellerin is on it, but it's a, they call it a high stick. And so the faceoff will come outside the main zone. Did you see that save by King?
Scott King getting a lot of action early. We can see here the Laker player coming down the side, and Keith Carney kind of turns and watches the pucks and lets Laker man slide right behind him, and Scott King had to come in big. Jimmy Burke doing his best to hold that man off, and Scott King showing great concentration, just making that slide around. That's a steal, a 10th round pick. Detroit's very happy with that. Scott King would have been drafted much higher if they knew his potential.
And Jim Dowd is the guy he stopped, who just happens to be the Lakers' top scorer, and he stopped him from point-blank range. Now Michael Smith behind the net. Olsen working hard on him. Olsen goes down, as does Smith now, and so Pellerin and Waite go to the corner. Heavy action as Pellerin with one hand keeps the man off and keeps the puck in. Now Olsen and Smith battle. Roland moves up to keep it in. Turnaround shot by Pellerin is deflected and never reaches the net. Roy crunches a man to the board, and the Lakers take over. Now Pete Stauber, the brother of former All-Star Rob Stauber of Minnesota Gopher fame. Olsen behind the net. Now there's a whistle. And what do we got? Another penalty coming up?
I think Doug Wright's going to take a seat here. He's trying to sneak off there.
Yeah, and Ned Bunyan says, whoop.
Wait a minute, get over here. You're gone for high sticking.
All right, so the Bears will be on another power play. In terms of penalties, Maine received 4 penalties in that first period, and the Lakers received 3.
Bunyan doing a fine job so far tonight.
Keeping control of the game, and Doug Waite goes off. Frank Anzalone not too happy about that.
Seems like all teams that come in here always complain about the officiating, but you know, that's one thing there. You can complain as much as you want, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's one of those uncontrollable factors that coaches have to eat a little bit. You know, they have to realize that no matter what they do.
And Anzalone pulls no punches. He just says that he sometimes wonders about Eastern officials because it's a different style of play. He's very outspoken, and a lot of people don't appreciate it. But that's Frank Anzalone, and that's the way he is. He doesn't hide it. Now Robitaille moves up the right side for the Bears, tries to set up a play. Behind the net, it'll work to Montgomery. Off the dasher it comes. Now Straub tries to keep it in but can't, and the Sioux Lakers break out. There's a shot on fired by Breslin. Now Robitaille moves up ice. 3-on-2 for the moment. Robitaille works it with Downey, moves in deep. Behind the net, it'll go to Robitaille, who can really work magic behind there. Now Carney. Robitaille moves in, tries to center it, and shot. It hits the side of the net, I believe, by Downey. It squirts back to the point where Straub is on it. He'll just fire it in deep, and Montgomery will get to it. Now Robitaille holds for Carney. Robitaille, again, they work the play. Montgomery moves it in, tries to stuff it, but can't. Back to the point, it'll come to Carney. Keith fires it over to Straub. Now Carney. In front, shot, score! Brian Downey pulled the trigger.
Brian Downey plays that right side so well. He goes into the slot and then he backs off and gives himself a great angle to get a goal there. Keith Carney with great poise takes a look and looks straight across, slides a nice pass right across to him, and Brian Downey one-times it, and boom, that puck's in the net.
You can't ask for better passing than that. Wow. Carney.
That's a heck of a goal right there, Dale.
Interesting for the Maine power play this year, they're scoring about 30% of the time against non-conference opponents, but when they get into Hockey East play, the power play is only firing about 15% of the time, and Sean Walsh says he can't figure it out, but it's working tonight. Now Barkley falls down. On it is Mercier, moves it in front, and Tomberlin almost had another goal. 4-1, the Bears putting all kinds of pressure on the Lakers. Now there's a shot fired on by Bacchus, and it's kicked away nicely by Scott King. Tried to send away Tomberlin again, but couldn't quite do it. We've played 4 minutes in period number 2, and the Bears have pretty much dominated play, leading 4-1. Now up the right side, tries to go Tim Breslin, but can't. Maine is on it. It's Christian Lalonde. Couldn't connect with his pass. Johnson fans on the shot, and here comes Maine. Fenton moves in, shot saved by Madeley, and he'll hang on. Quick wrister by Eric Fenton.
Great play by Eric Fenton. He has Tomlin breaking down the side, and he just fakes the pass and just lets a nice hard snapshot go. And he had to come up with a big save.
Fenton with a goal and an assist, and almost had goal number 2 on the year.
Manley giving a little bit on that right side there to shoot at, and Eric went for it. Manley came up with a big save.
To tell you the truth, at this point, I'm a little surprised at the Lakers. They just don't seem to be clicking at all tonight, do they?
Well, it's tough to say, Dale. You know, it's they definitely have a great motivator over on the bench, and you can never count them out. There's a lot of hockey left to play here.
Yeah, I'm just saying, up to this point, you see a team coming in with 20 wins, and the Bears have really dominated play.
It's not so much that so far tonight that the Lakers haven't played that well. It's just Maine's on top of their game. They're doing the little things right, and that's what wins hockey games.
And the Bears have said they wanted some home cooking, and they're getting it. They were on the road for a long, long time, and now they're back home for 10 straight games. The first one of them tonight. Jablonski moves it in deep. Burke rides him to the board. Carney is on it for Bears. It squirts to King, who will quickly get it to Burke. Maine having trouble getting pinned in for the moment. Robitaille and Downey. Now Cernich can't keep it in for the Sioux Lakers, and it'll come to the neutral zone. Downey is on it, but you got to wait for Montgomery to get onside. He does. They'll fan on the shot, and the Sioux Lakers take over. Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. It's a little town of about 12,000. In breaks Dowd. He'll shoot it wide. That would have never reached the net as it was high into the right side. He's on it again, though. Moves it back to the point. There's a wrist shot taken from there. Never reaches King. The Bears looking to clear the zone, and they do. Randy Olsen up through center ice, making his move. He fires it wide to the left side, and the Bears go after it. Belfay brings a man down, and out breaks Lake Superior. In comes Doug Waite, getting around one man, tries to stuff it in front, and it's held on to by Scott King. And that was very, very close, as the Lakers almost had a wraparound.
Scott King sees Waite coming around behind the net, and he just slides over and knocks down the wraparound attempt.
A break in the action. It's 4-1. Maine will come right back.
No more excuses, America. The DP ErgoTrack 4 treadmill, now just $349.96. Get it at service. Workout 1990, DP style. The DP Ergometer exercise bike, now just $268.82. Get it at service.
Back at Alfond Arena, I'm Dale Duff, along with Scott Smith and Rich Kimball, bringing you the action between the Maine Black Bears and the Lake Superior State Lakers. It is 4-1 Maine, as we have reached the 14:22 mark in period number 2. The Lakers rank number 6 in the country, the Bears in a tie for 12th place.
And both coaches disagree with that.
Both coaches think they ought to be at least a couple of points higher in each case. And the winner of this series probably will on Monday. There's a shot on, stopped by King. Blair's going to be called for a penalty for Maine just as soon as Maine touches that. Blair pins his man to the board. They still work it free. This is where that strength of Lake Superior comes in. Now a man goes down. In front, there's Dowd, who partially fans on it, or he may have had a goal. Jim Dowd is tricky in front. Bears going to be called for a penalty, but they can't touch the puck. Now there's a shot. Finally, it's touched up by Maine, and there's the whistle.
Well, Campbell Burley going off for holding. The Lakers play so strong along the boards that Maine has to not wrap their arms around the players trying to pull them off the puck. We'll see on the replay that Campbell puts his arms right around the man, and referee's got to call that. He's got to give him 2 minutes for holding. And Campbell knows it. Campbell knows that he shouldn't have done that, and it was too late by the time he realized that he was doing it. Keep 2 hands on the stick and keep digging hard in there.
And Sean Walsh, I'm sure, is trying to preach patience this weekend. That was the key word that he was using all this week in preparation for the Lakers, because they sometimes can just wear you down with your strength, and you just have to be so patient with them.
Poise is very important in this game, especially with 2 high-powered teams like this. You know, there's a lot of action, a lot of emotions, and teams that can control themselves and have that patience and poise, hey, they're gonna be the team that'll come out on top every time.
And so let's see the Lakers on their power play. Jablonski is out there with Mark Astley and also Sandy Mulger. Cernich is out there along with David DeVita. Or check that rather, Cord Cernich, number 3. That's the Laker power play. To kill it for Maine, Mercier and Barkley, Lalonde and Scremin. The Sioux Lakers drive it in. Lalonde is there first. Now Cernich goes to the corner. This is Mulger. Now Jablonski trying to work something in front. He falls down, and it squirts back to center ice. Out comes Mercier. He'll move and fire it on Madley, who will hold on. Kind of a soft shot by Martin Mercier.
Madley wasn't sure if he had that puck. He looked around and see if he could see a rebound, and he realized he had it, so he just figured I might as well hang on to this baby and see if we can set this power play up. Maine's been real successful tonight, putting a lot of pressure through the neutral zone on this power play and not giving the Lakers a chance to set the play up.
Here's the shot by Mercier as he winds up and
just lets her go. You know, he has nothing to lose. He's killing a penalty. Might as well put a nice hard shot on net and see what happens.
Maine currently being outshot in the game. The Lakers with 13 shots on goal. The Bears have 11. But the Bears lead where it counts, 4-1, and we have played 7 minutes in this second period. Jim Dowd drops it for Strawber. Good play by Roy to break that up. Now Johnson, good fake. He'll wind up, shoot, and it's saved by King, and he just grabbed it with the glove and said, not this time.
Down in front, Brian Straub did a great job on Dow, who was trying to screen Scott King. We see the shot coming in from the point, and Scott King has great vision on that and has a nice clear angle on the puck, and he can make a save like that. That's definitely a goaltender's save. You know, you got to give him that outside shot and just hope your goaltender comes up with a good save. And the defense doing a fine job keeping the Laker player out of Scott King's way.
Burke fires it around the dasher, and Roy gives it a shove outside the zone. On it now is Montgomery. Good play to get control of that puck and knock it in deeper in the zone. They have Montgomery and Roy and Downey. Remember, folks, these are freshman players. Now Dowd moves, tricky move to get around his man. In the corner, Burke takes him, but Dowd gets away. Uses a pick for one man, uses that pick again, just like basketball. Now Johnson, it's tipped in front. Scremin fires it to the corner, and now it's out. .24 seconds left on the power play. Waite moves in front. Dowd is there. King comes out of the net to make it a beautiful save. Now Dowd, 15 seconds left on the power play. Dowd is everywhere. Now it's Johnson. Ahead it'll come. On it is Naparali. Stauber is out there on the power play. This is Jim Dowd in front, but the only man there is Maine's Scott Pellerin. And now the penalty is over, and Sean Walsh goes, phew. That was a dangerous power play.
Another great kill by Maine.
We should remember this moment in this game because this was a very important save.
Here we see Scott King handling a 4-on-1 and just showed concentration, as we say every night, and he comes up with a big save. Jimmy Burke goes down and tries to block the angle of the pass, and Doug Wright just takes one and rifles it on net, and Scott comes up big.
And Maine's power penalty killing unit, and Scott King gets a standing ovation from the sellout crowd at Alfond Arena.
Those players better be tapping Scott King whenever they go out on that ice, because he sure deserves a little encouragement or praise.
Face-off won by Robitaille. Blair leaves it for Straub, and on it now is Eric Fenton. He's rubbed to the boards, but Belfay takes over for Maine. He'll move up the right side, just dump it in, and Maine will go after it. Madley stops it, though, before Fenton can get to it. Fenton's knocked down, and now Lake Superior's going to get a penalty. Oh, man, Frank Anzalone is not going to like that one. Another silly penalty by Lake Superior.
Well, John Hendry just picking up his man, going to the net with Eric Fenton, and just pulled Eric's skates out. Good thing Eric went to the boards pretty hard there, Dale.
Yeah.
Good thing he came out of that without an injury.
There's Hendry from Mississauga, Ontario. I was hoping I'd be able to say that tonight.
Big hockey town up in Ontario. We'll see the penalty maybe off to the right side of the screen there. I guess not. There's Campbell Blair doing a little jousting.
So Hendry visits the box for the second time tonight. Remember, he was off with a matching minor with Claudio Scremin earlier in the game. The Bears have scored 3 power play goals so far tonight, and they will try to make it 4. As Sean Wall sends out Robitaille and Downey and Montgomery, along with Straub and Carney. Robitaille wins the face-off smartly. Back to Carney. He'll wind up and fire it high and wide. On it to the corner now is Maine, but the Lakers try to squeeze it out through the zone. Jablonski finally does. Four-1, the Bears lead with 11 minutes left in this second period of play. Live from Alfond Arena. Martin Robitaille up the left wing. He's flying. He'll put on the brakes, get it back to the point where Carney is standing by. Now Brian Straub to Downey. They work the pass as the Lakers stay in that 4-man box. This is Carney. Robitaille has it go off his skate, and he's ridden off the play, but Maine contains control of the puck. Now the pass intercepted by Dowd, and the Bears will have to regroup. Dowd is an excellent player. Now Carney is hauled down. The puck is loose. Can't be cleared by the Lakers, and Roy keeps it in. He'll put on a wrister that never reaches net. It'll come back to Carney. Now Campbell Blair is out there at the point for the Bears. Robitaille. Blair. In front is blocked by Dowd. Robitaille sends it behind the boards, and Pellerin is on it. Pellerin sweeps it behind him where Roy is standing. Now Blair to Roy. He'll move in, but can't quite get to it, and Carney is on it. He'll tee it up in front. It's tipped, and it winds up all the way back to the back of the rink, and I think into the hot dog stand up there.
The Maine defense, when they're playing with the puck on the blue line, they're trying to draw the Lakers out and force them out on the blue line. When they do that, that should open up the lower area down in front where Scott Pellerin will be parked. Maine fans might be saying, well, why the heck aren't they shooting? Why take shots when they're just waiting to get a nice grade A shot, as Sean would call it? And grade A shot's better than just an outer perimeter shot that's just going to give the goaltender confidence.
Darren Madley in goal for Lake Superior, and away from the action, another penalty coming up on Lake Superior, and another penalty as the face-off was about to be held. Another penalty, and this is going to be called on Dan Kesmer. And this is the type of play that Lake Superior is known for. And it's a silly penalty.
Well, with Maine having 3 power play goals, Frank over on the bench here better be talking to his players to wise up a little bit, because it's just going to keep hurting them.
Frank Anzalone says What are you going to do? I mean, he knows it's a penalty that's going to be called. And he's going to his assistant coach, Jeff Jackson, saying, do you understand it? So the Bears will have a two-man advantage. Let's see if they can make something click. Roy back to Lalonde, who's out there with Scremin. Claudio will tee it up in front. It goes across the crease, but no Maine player can get a stick on it. Finally, the Lakers clear it to center ice. The penalty to Hendry is now up, so it's only a one-man advantage for the Bears. Lalonde is crushed to the boards. Behind the net on it is Johnson, and now Hendry. He'll clear the zone. The Bears skating 5-on-4 for the moment. Lalonde brings it in, but offside, Maine.
Randy Olson takes one little step there right on the blue line and pulls the offside call.
Randy Olson's an interesting story. Runs his own cleaning business out in Saskatchewan.
Entrepreneur in the summer.
Bright White Cleaning. That's the name of it. And he's got about 100 clients, I'm told. And he's got a partner, and I guess his mother helps him run the business while he's here. And Bright White Cleaning.
Right.
I like it. Meanwhile, Kesmer sits in the box for the Lakers. And already trailing 4-1, and that was a very silly penalty by Lake Superior, but Maine says thank you very much. We'll take now Robitaille up the left side against Stauber. Stauber knocks him down, and the Lakers will come out with a puck. Stauber moves through, trying to kill some time on the penalty. King goes to it. He loses the puck. Wait, it skirts in front almost. But the Lakers were trying to change up on the play and had nobody there. Robitaille now to Montgomery. He'll put on the brakes. Back to the point is Carney. He'll fake the shot and loses control of the puck. It jumps over the blue line. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Kesmer. This is Downey. LePrade is on it now for Lake Superior, and he'll fire it down the ice. 8 minutes and 5 seconds left in the period. Tomberlin to Mercier, but he can't quite get a stick on it, as Ashley moved him to the boards. Barkley trying to get to it with Tomberlin. Barkley does. Scremin comes in deep, but can't keep it in. Claudio. Christian Lalonde on it for the Bears, and now Mercier tries to move in, and Lake Superior is standing up the Bears at the blue line. Penalty is over, so we're back 5-a-side now. That penalty by Lake Superior did not cost them, and I'm sure that right now Frank Anzalone is breathing a sigh of relief. Tomberlin is working hard for the Bears, trying to get something, a wraparound. Now in front, the puck will jump to center ice, and Lalonde will get to it first for Maine. 4-1, the Bears have the lead over Lake Superior. Eric Fenton trying to work around Mike Bacchus, and they go to the boards right in front of the Lake Superior bench. Now Whitmire is pushing and shoving with a man. 4 men are there, and the Jester not blowing the whistle. And they continue to not blow that whistle, and they've got 4 or 5 players, and they've got to blow the whistle. Finally, they do. We'll take a break in the action. On that note, it's 4-1, the Bears over the Lakers.
I think what I like best about Hewins is that they're extremely knowledgeable.
These people do their homework.
Every time I travel, I use Hewins. They're very reliable, they're friendly.
And fun. Really fun people.
The service has just been excellent. And the end result is my entertainment, my pleasure, my vacation is a vacation that I can look back on.
I wouldn't go anywhere else, absolutely never.
At Hewins Travel, we want to get you the best value for your travel dollar.
Hewins Travel, with offices statewide.
Back back at Alfond Arena. If you like this hockey action, you'll like next Friday night as well, as we'll be back on the air bringing you Maine against the Northeastern Huskies. And that'll be a big Hockey East showdown next Friday night right here from Alfond Arena. I also want to mention we have a big basketball day here on the Maine Broadcasting System tomorrow afternoon at 2. It's Maine against Hartford. First the women and then the men live from the Bangor Auditorium. That's tomorrow afternoon. So lots of Maine sports action coming your way. Ryan Straub on it for the Bears, as he's the sophomore from Montana. Now they break up is Steve Widmeyer from Nova Scotia. He'll go to the boards against Cord Cernich, I should say. Widmeyer wins the battle. He'll center it, but Belfay can't quite get to it. He'll go to the boards. Michael Smith working hard to keep him off the puck. On it is Fenton. He continues to work hard. Belfay and Fenton. And the puck is underneath Fenton, and they get a whistle.
This main line of Belfay and Fenton and Whitmire, that line just gives you nightmares. You're trying to play against a line like that because they're all over you all night. They're always finishing their checks. You see that line come on, you say, oh man, here we go. We're just going to get hammered all shift.
But every team needs a line like that, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Lake Superior has 4 lines like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can see as the game wears on, it appears that Lake Superior gets a little bit more chippy, a little more aggressive, and it's that wear-down Northern Pro hockey style, as Frank Anzalone likes to say. Now Pellerin goes to the corner, and Roy is there along with Jablonski. Maine trying to keep it in. Roy can't quite do it, and finally it clears the zone. Now Kesmer against Pellerin. Pellerin is hauled down. Crowd wants a penalty, but Ned Bunyan says not this time. And Dowd breaks in for Lake Superior. He'll put on the brakes and get it to Carl Johnson. It goes in. He'll shoot. Score! Carl Johnson beats Scott King high into the left side.
Johnson had all kinds of time to make that shot.
And Sean Walsh is livid because he really wanted a penalty against the Lake Superior team against Scott Pellerin. And what made it doubly worse is they come down and score. Here's the play.
Here we can see the goal here. Johnson just takes a nice shot. Scotty almost picked that one up in between his body, but it just snuck through. He had all kinds of time and could really get the shot set up. Scott King was being interfered with a little bit, but then he got right back into position. Tough break for Scott King. Sean Walsh was upset because Scott Pellerin got upended right in front of Bunyan, and Bunyan isn't going to be intimidated by anybody. This is his show. Both coaches can say what they want. He's proven it in the first period and a half so far tonight that, hey, this is my show. I'm going to run it the way I want it. Whatever you say, that's the way it goes.
So for Johnson, the junior defenseman from Ontario, it is goal number 7. And we have a lot of goals being scored by defensive players tonight here at Alfond. And all of a sudden it's 4-2. Feel the crowd going, And so now Montgomery breaks in for Maine, drops it off, but nobody is home. Sandy Moger takes over for the Lakers, and now Doug Waite. This is Astley against Downey, moves behind the net, a wraparound shot stopped by King, and I don't think he knew where it was as he was backing up, and it hit him. Now the Bears break out. Barkley drops it for Carney, he'll tee it up, and Madley holds on. And now we've got all kinds of action going on in front, and people are starting throwing some punches now. Barkley is after it with number 17, Mark Astley, and there were some punches thrown, and let's see what happens.
Well, they all can throw punches, Dale. No one's going to get hurt with those aquariums they have on their heads.
And Frank Anzalone knows he's in a tough battle, and here's how it all started with that Carney shot.
Hey, a great shot by Keith Carney, and Maine player goes right in and just gives him a little tap there, and he says, I don't like that too much.
That was Barkley, and then Mark Astley took exception to him banging into the goalie, and we're going to have penalties. And already for Lake Superior, David DeVita goes off, and keep an eye on number 2. He's going off. Montgomery winds up on the ice, and Sean Walsh is saying, okay, let's see here.
You know, everybody gets all upset when their goaltenders get hit. I don't know. These goaltenders, here we can see a little punch. You know, it's just the type of thing where they have so much equipment on. They're never going to get hurt in there, you know, and everybody always blows up when their goaltenders gets hit or bumped or a little bump. You know, look at all the equipment they have on. They're not going to get hurt.
Spoken from a guy who knows, right?
You know, everybody gets so excited. I mean, look at the equipment they have on. They can take anything.
And so we're going to have matching minor penalties. Jim Montgomery goes off for Maine, and David DeVita goes off for the Lake Superior Lakers. Matching minors, and so it'll be 4-on-4 for the next couple of minutes. Now Jablonski moves in, taken to the boards nicely by Scremin, and the Bears will take over. You can feel the momentum shift a bit here as the Lakers seem to be picking it up a notch in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Now Jablonski intercepts. They keep it in the Maine zone. Jablonski, the referee, hits the puck. Kept in by Michael Smith. Now Jablonski goes around the net. Lalonde trying to hold him off. This is Dowd. Watch out for him. Scremin rides him to the boards. Jablonski and Cernic joins in on the play now. This is Dowd. He'll spin, fire. It's tipped with a blocker save by Scott King, who had to be quick on that one, and Roy comes back for Maine. Ahead to Lalonde, back to Roy, who can't quite get a shot on net. Now Scott Pellerin moves in, winds up, and it's blocked nicely by Michael Smith. Great defensive play by that Laker defenseman.
You have to love those defensemen that block shots.
That has got to hurt. Now Cernic tries to move in, but can't. They'll regroup, and finally it's knocked in by Tim Breslin of Lake Superior, but Maine is on it first. Robitaille trying to get some start. Give it for Downey. Oh, nice play to move ahead. Now Burke tried to get it back to Downey. Ridden to the boards by Kesmer. Kesmer and Burke, 2 defensemen, heavy hitting defensemen, behind the net. Remember, it's 4-on-4, about 15 seconds left on the matching minor penalties. Superior drives it ahead. Breslin can't get to it. Maine does first. They try to catch him on a change, but Downey can't move in. He'll just drive it in, but there's offside play. So with 2:42 left in the second period, it's 4-2 Maine. We'll take a quick break and come back to Alphon.
Hear something?
You guys are so immature.
Was that your sister?
I'm not sure.
All right, back at Alphon Arena, just under 3 minutes to go in the second period of play. As defensemen have scored a lot of goals in this game for Maine. Claudio Scremin, Jim Burke have scored. Johnson and Smith have scored goals for the Lakers, and so 4 out of the 6 goals come from guys on the blue line tonight so far. All right, in breaks Doug Waite, number 11. He'll hold and fire it on. On it is Tim Harris. He goes down. And King also went down on the play in net there, and the crowd wanted something there. Lake Superior continues to work. Puck getting dangerously close to the net. Tim Harris behind to Stauber. Stauber wants to move in front, tries to get it to the point, but nicely tipped by Martin Mercier.
Martin Mercier keeping his stick right on the ice when he's out there forcing that man, and that caused the turnover.
Maine breaks back in, but they can't quite get the shot on net as Mercier and Fenton tried to work out something there, but couldn't quite connect. Now that's an icing call on Lake Superior.
You know, you see a lot of players skating around out here with their sticks off the ice. I mean, the stick's got to be on the ice to get the puck, you know, and it takes 3 or 4 seconds sometimes to get that stick on the ice, and, you know, they got to keep the stick on the ice so they can control the puck. Scott King gets his feet pulled out a little bit, And, oh, maybe not. Maybe he got a little bump there.
Ouch. That's what the crowd at that end was up in arms about. Kind of wanted something called there.
You get bumped around a little bit and you get your concentration right back. And, you know, Scott King's the type of goalie where a hit like that wouldn't rattle him.
John Walsh sends out Randy Olson, Jean-Yves Roy, and Scott Pellerin. Keith Carney and Jim Burke will play the defense. As you see what it looks like from the Maine bench. And it sure looks different from there, being up here in the broadcast booth.
You know, you sit in the stands here and some of these guys don't look very big, but there's some big lugs out there.
Under 2 minutes now left in the second period of play. The Bears have a 4-2 lead. There's a shot fired by Johnson that goes wide, but Dowd is on it. Carney will ride him to the boards. Dowd just doesn't give up, though. Now Burke ahead to Olson, who tips it outside the zone. Roy and Pellerin trying to break in. Pellerin goes down, and then Roy are just like dominoes. And now Olson goes down, although he tripped over the stick, although Sean Walsh wants a penalty on the play. Now Bacchus. LaPrade fans on the shot, so he'll just fire it in deep. Another Maine players knocked down, shot on by Maine. Now Carney, he'll break out through center ice with Jim Burke. Now it's help from Roy, and they've ridden off the play. Now Ken Blum starts back for the Lakers, moves and fires a little wrister, and Scott King will hold on. I think both teams needed a break in the action right now.
Well, some of the Lakers are swinging their sticks out there like they're up here cutting wood.
This is something that the Lakers are known for. Sean Walsh knows all about it. Frank Anzalone says that it's just good defensive pressure, and we're going to make you give up the puck. And he calls it good, aggressive, pro-style hockey. There are many people around who just plain call it a little bit dirty and chippy hockey. I don't know.
Definitely the pros in at college, they'll use your stick, you know, pulling a guy off, a little clutching and grabbing. But you don't swing a stick around the head or the upper chest area. That's just ridiculous. And Bunyan's got to start making those calls. There were 5 or 6 blatant axe swings, I like to call them, right during that last shift, and he just let everything go. And if he continues to do that, you know, it's going to get out of control a little bit.
39 seconds left here in the second period of play. The Bears would dearly like to get off of here with a 2-goal lead to go into the locker room and think about it. Puck flipped up into the air in front, and fortunately for Maine, no Laker could get a stick on it. Belfay just drives it to the open corner. Another Maine player is hauled down, and this time they will get a penalty on Lake Superior.
Sandy Mulger going off for interference.
And Sean Walsh on the bench is over there saying it is about time. And a lot of the action is taking place. A lot of these penalties are taking place behind the puck. So you're not always seeing it on camera, but away from the action, just after the man gives up the puck, the guy kind of gives him a little shove.
Well, most of the time, Dale, that's where you can get away with it, because the ref and the linesmen are watching the lines and the ref's watching the puck where it's going, and sometimes you might get away with a little jab or a little extra hit or maybe a punch to the head or something. That is very illegal, and fortunately this time Mulger got caught.
Well, at this point, I guess it would be proper to mention that the Lakers have received, coming into this game, 518 penalty minutes. And the Bears, meanwhile, have been called for 380. So there's a big discrepancy. The Lakers spend a lot of time in the box. 12 seconds left now on the second period clock. Stauber moves in. Maine is on the power play, and he'll bring it back to help end the period. And that's where we'll end after 2 periods of play. So the Bears will skate off with a 4-2 lead, and the referee right now is making one team leave the ice first and then the Lakers, and probably a smart move by Ned Bunyan. Wouldn't let them both get out there on the ice at the same time. He told the Lake Superior team to hold up until Maine moves off, and Frank Anzalone walks off, and you wonder what he might tell the troops.
Well, that's a good rule, Dale. You know, lets each team get off their separate ways, and there won't be any talking between the players, and it cuts down on the confusion and trouble that.
After 35 years as Maine's leading carpet store, J.C. Best of Portland has closed its doors forever. Over $2 million worth of wall-to-wall carpets, oriental and area rugs will be sold at savings of a minimum of 40 to 70%. Premium quality carpets including Stainmaster and 100% wools, genuine handmade orientals and imported area rugs, hundreds of remnants at or below wholesale cost. Everything must go, but it's first come, first served, so come in fast to the J.C. Best Carpet Liquidation Sale.
The winter sale at Rollins is on right now, with great values on your favorite names and furniture. Beautiful pieces for every room in your house. You'll find heartwarming prices all over the store. So don't let winter leave you out in the cold. Come to Rollins for our winter sale and get a nice, warm feeling all over.
Unconditional love awaits you at the Doghouse. Quality pets since 1948. Come visit the Doghouse, home of the original penny sale and tropical fish every weekend. The Doghouse, Auburn Mall, Cook's Corner, Brunswick, and South Portland. Just a bone's throw from Service Merchandise.
Say that again, Bob.
Back at the Alfond Arena, and after 2 periods, the Maine Black Bears holding a 4-2 lead over the Sioux Lakers of Lake Superior State. And one of the reasons for that is our guest here between periods, Maine's outstanding freshman Jim Montgomery. Had a great year, 32 points coming in tonight, and a goal and an assist in the first period. It's been a great start for you at Maine.
Yes, it has, and it's real exciting to get off to a 16-3 start, seeing that we have so many freshmen and that we've been able to come together so well. We've had a little down spell at the end, but hopefully we're starting to turn things around again.
All right, what made the difference? You guys did have some down times, and last weekend you seemed to, in that second game against Lowell, put it all together.
I just think it's the overall team work ethic. It seems like we're 16-3, we're a good team, but we just don't have the finishers of the Maine team 2 years ago, and we have to work for our wins. We just can't rely on talent.
What about this one tonight? You're up against a team that's got a reputation, a national power that the Maine team has had some experience with before. You get off to the big lead. Do you get worried about them coming back?
You certainly are worried all the time with a powerhouse like Lake Superior. You always have to give them the credit and the respect that they will come back. But hopefully we're just going to keep on pressuring them, and we won't sit back on our lead, and hopefully things will go well in the third.
Looked like he was getting a little chippy out there in the second period.
Yes, it was. At the end there, my penalty, I guess, was kind of a little mealy in front of their net, but it's what we want to do. We want to go to the front of their net. It's important. A lot of loose rebounds come out.
You've done a good job tonight keeping the puck in their end. Is that part of the plan?
Yes, it is, because they do it so well in our end. We like to do it in their end. Hopefully it'll slow down their pace and frustrate them a bit.
All right, now you're one of the many Canadian players here in the Maine team. What's it been like? How is the adjustment to moving to Maine, playing here and being around the Orono campus?
It's been real easy because of the way the players are treated here by the fans, everything. I mean, the coaches, how we're taken care of academically, everything. It's just super.
Got a real good support system, and I know probably the most exciting thing for you guys is to come out here and every time you hit the ice know that there's a full house cheering for you.
Couldn't believe it. I just love to see that sign all the time at the other end saying, "Welcome back, Hockey Bears." It's just great.
When you came in here and had your campus visit, was that a big difference, the facilities, the arena, the locker room?
Definitely the fans and how they're always in the game. I remember when we were losing 4-1 to BC this year, they kept trying to get us going, and they did. Just luck didn't have it that night.
All right, Jim, good luck. You got a tough third period coming up trying to hold them off, but looks pretty good so far. This is going to be a tough weekend for you.
It certainly will, and thank you.
All right, Jim Montgomery, the Maine Bears, a goal and an assist so far tonight, and Maine on top by a score of 4-2 over Lake Superior State. We're between the second and third period, and we'll return with more in just a moment.
It's the law, and as a Casco Bay College trained paralegal, you can be part of it. Each day your skills will be put to the test preparing briefs, doing research, interviewing clients as you work as a vital part of the legal team. Yes, the excitement, drama, pride, and rewards of a legal career could be yours with Casco Bay College paralegal training. Call today to get the full facts on a paralegal career.
Day classes start January 29th. Evening classes start February 5th. Call Casco Bay College now.
Save your dough. For a limited time, Domino's Pizza has a New Year's deal. 2 pizzas each with 1 topping for only $10.95. So call Domino's Pizza on the double. We'll be there in 30 minutes or less, hot and fresh. 2 pizzas just $10.95. Call Domino's Pizza. Nobody delivers better. Offer may vary.
Get 2 one-item original pizzas for only $10.95. That's right, just $10.95 for both pizzas. Additional toppings are extra. This offer won't last long, so call your local Domino's Pizza today.
She's the girl of my dreams. She taught me what real love means. You can't beat it. The feeling you get when your love is the real thing. Hi, Daddy. Can't beat the feeling.
Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the feeling.
Lead over Lake Superior State. Joining us in our intermission is one of the players from Lake Superior, not suiting up tonight, but has had a good career, sophomore center from Ontario, Paul Constantin. And Paul, you guys are off to a terrific start this season, just 4 losses coming into this series.
Yeah, we've been playing well. All our losses so far have been in league play, so that hasn't hurt us too much just in the league play. But our out of non-conference, we've played two teams from the West, one from Alaska, which they weren't all that good, and St. Cloud, who's a really good independent team.
Up here we've seen a lot of the Western teams come in and a few of the CCHCA clubs. How do you rate the conferences with Hockey East thrown in there too?
Well, they're all, I think Hockey East and ECAC are the same type of hockey, and CCHA and WCHA are the same. I think our 2 leagues out west there are more physical, and the 2 leagues back here are more the skating style hockey.
You guys have a reputation, like a lot of the Central and Western clubs, of being very physical on the ice. Some might even say that at times it gets a little bit rougher than you'd like out there. But is that reputation earned?
Yeah, it is. Especially in our league, that's basically what you do. It's hitting game. That's what our team is geared up for, more hitting than. So we don't have the fast skaters like the ECAC or the Hockey East do, and we have to contain our opponents, and hitting is the only way we can do it.
You've got, of course, a coach like Maine does that's in the news a lot and likes to talk about his team and is outspoken at times. What about Frank Anzalone? What's he like to play for?
Well, he's a really good coach. He's intense, most intense person I've ever had coach me, and he demands the best, and we give him the best, and that's all we can do. He's very intense.
What about coming to Maine? What's it been like for you guys? Now, you met 2 years ago. You weren't on the team when they played in the NCAA Final Four. Do you get fired up to play an Eastern team that's been ranked nationally for a few years now?
We do. Coach really never mentioned too much about the last 2 years, what happened. Supposedly Maine, that's all they've been talking about this last week. But we haven't heard anything about it. We just come here to play another 2 games and hopefully get 2 wins out of it, and hopefully we will.
All right, you're back home after this. After you leave, we wish you good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. Paul Constantin, sophomore center of the Lake Superior Sioux Lakers. They trail Maine 4-2. We've got 20 minutes left to go. Looks like a good finish. We hope you'll stay around.
At Portland Glass, we started replacing auto glass in 1947 and built a reputation for good service and quality work. Since then, we've taken what we learned from auto glass and applied it to the rest of the glass business. Now we can say, if it's glass, we can do it.
Decorating with mirrors? We can do it.
Replacement windows? They're a snap.
Tub and shower doors? No problem.
Storm doors? Sure we can do it.
Windshield replacement, the best.
Portland Glass. If it's glass, we can do it.
Chocolate, cream, custard, cake. The flavor of Boston cream pie in a limited edition Deering ice cream. Boston cream pie ice cream. Something really special from Deering ice cream. Watching your weight but craving a sweet? Try Deering's calorie counter. Worried about cholesterol? Eat Daring's calorie counter. It's as smooth as fine ice cream with only 70 calories per serving and completely cholesterol-free. Enjoy.
Thank you, Maine. You've done it again.
Once again, you've chosen GM Pollock & Sons as your #1 jeweler. Now it's our turn to thank you with GM Pollock & Sons annual Thank You Maine.
On the spot, on the dot sale.
Look for the red dot, save 50%. Look for the green dot, save 40%. Save on Maine's largest and finest selection of jewelry and giftware. Red dot, save 50%. Green dot, save 40% on our entire selection of fine jewelry. GM Pollock & Sons, Maine's very own family jeweler.
Back at Alfond Arena, part of the sellout crowd, number 73 in a row here at Alfond Arena. It's always a sellout.
I wonder why they call them maniacs.
And I was also going to mention, I don't know, I think that Lake Superior player set a new record when talking about Coach Anzalone for very intense. How many times did he say it?
Well, he's an intense man.
Oh,
as everyone says all the time whenever they mention Frank Anzalone, it's intensity.
Well, it's a 4-2 score after 2 periods of play. We want to show you how we got to that point here in the second period. This is the power play goal from Maine. Carney from Downey.
Well, exactly what you want to do on a power play is isolate one man so he can get a good shot off. And Keith Carney slides a nice pass to Brian Downey, and he has a wide open net to shoot at. And Lake Superior didn't have much of a chance on that one.
And that made the score 4-1, and the Bears, up until this point, had really dominated play. And then the Lakers kind of kicked it in gear a little bit, and this is the goal by Carl Johnson.
Well, Carl Johnson just comes on the slot and has all sorts of time to get control of the puck, and just rifles a nice high shot right over the blocker of Scott King, and he didn't have much of a chance there.
And so it is 4-2 after 2 periods of play. Action got much more hot and heavy, particularly toward the end of the period. We've had 26 minutes of penalties called. Lake Superior has been called for 14 minutes, and Maine has been called for 12 minutes, so pretty much even out.
Well, we've been talking about it all week, how aggressive both these teams are, and we have a little extracurricular activity there, and there's really no need for that in college hockey, but it is a game of emotions, and tempers do flare.
And players went off for matching minor penalties on that play. And so we'll see what happens here in period number 3. Remember, the Bears will begin this period on the power play, as the penalty came against Sandy Moger late in that period, and so we'll see how the Bears do on that power play. The scoring summary in the second period: give that first goal to Downey, Brian Downey, the freshman, his 4th of the year. Carney and give Straub an assist, and then Carl Johnson, who gets help from Dowd, Jim Dowd, and Pete Stauber to make it a 4-2 score.
Well, one interesting thing to remember, Dale, this Lake Superior team, all the talk was how aggressive they are and how intimidating they are. You can see so far in the first 2 periods that there's no way that Maine's going to be intimidated by this team coming into the Alfond, one of the toughest places to play college hockey, and intimidate them. There's just no way. Not only are you playing against 20 college athletes, you have 4,000 fans here going crazy at every shift.
Well, if you like the college hockey action tonight, you'll love next Friday night as well, as we come back with more hockey here on the Maine Broadcasting Systems. The Northeastern Huskies come to town. It's an always tough game as the Bears take on the Huskies. You'll see it here on Channel 2 and 6 Alive in Portland, the stations you count on for sports. Next Friday night at 7 o'clock, join us right here live from Alfond Arena. We've got 20 minutes to go at least in this game. Third period action is underway, and the puck quickly jumps into the Lake Superior bench.
The Lakers turned it on a little bit in the last 7 to 10 minutes of that second period, and Maine answered the call. Of course, they played the way they played throughout the whole game. Good, strong, good defensive hockey, and we'll see what happens here in the third.
Yes, I should mention that the Bears have an outstanding record this year when they're leading after 2 periods. The Bears' record is 12-2-1, and so that usually says the Bears can hold on to a lead in the third period. But this is a very talented team from Lake Superior. Let's see what happens. Maine on the power play to begin the period. Robitaille with Montgomery and Downey out there with Straub and Carney. Now Carl Johnson just fires it around and sends it back down to Scott King. And Bears a little bit slow in getting things clicking here in the opening stages of period 3. It's fired out again by the Lakers. Maine will make wholesale changes. The Lakers send out a couple of new players as well. Now Maine pinned behind their board. Good job by Stauber of Lake Superior to keep the Bears pinned in almost single-handedly. Now Carney up the left side. He'll just fire it around the dasher. On it first is Pellerin, driving it in deep. Pellerin and Olsen out there with Roy. Roy is hauled down, and Doug Waite takes over for the Lakers. Now he'll just fire it to center ice, and the penalty is almost over. 20 seconds left to go on the penalty to Sandy Mulger. Maine with a record of 17-7-1. The Lakers are 24-2. It's a big weekend series. In front, Pellerin is stopped. Roy scores! Just like that, the Alphon crowd is up and standing and give a big effort to Pellerin, who continues his blue-collar work, and it paid off with Roy scoring.
Scott Pellerin pays the price there and gets the puck out to Roy, who just bats it on net, and Manley had a hard time controlling that puck. Plus, it was deflected off the Superior Laker defenseman. So Manley had two foes against them there. That puck went in. Lake Superior was arguing a little bit. They felt that the whistle should have been blown because the official couldn't see the puck, but it's his call.
I'm curious now to see if they give it to Roy or Pellerin. They will give it to Roy, number 23 on the year. He's the leading goal scorer in the nation among freshmen. Now Astley broken up on the play smartly by Lalonde, and out breaks Justin Tomberlin for the Bears. He'll wind up, but the play is offside.
Well, one interesting point, Dale, about this power play with non-league counting games here. These teams don't play each other that often, so Maine has a chance to have their power play work against some different types of penalty killing. You know, a lot of things open up as we see on this goal against Scotty Pellerin has all kinds of time just to throw that puck on net. Roy just comes right in. No one picks him up. This Lake Superior team hasn't seen this Maine power play in 2 years. They've seen it on tapes and things like that, but it's a heck of a lot different when you get out there and play against them. That may be one of the reasons why Maine's doing well on the power play against non-Hockey East teams.
And so the score is 5-2 Maine, early stages of period 3. That was the jump start the Bears needed to get things underway in the third period. Now behind the net, trying to wrap it around in front is Laprade, and he does, but it goes wide. To the corner it goes with Kesmer. Blum does a good job keeping it in for the Lakers. This is their fourth line out there now. Belfay ahead, can't connect with Widmeyer. Now Belfay on it himself. Moves it ahead, but Bacchus takes over. Mike Bacchus is a freshman from Michigan, and he'll just fire it in, and the Sioux Lakers will change out. We've played 3 minutes here in period 3. The Bears with a 5-2 lead. Downey moves it ahead to Robitaille in 2-on-1. He'll shoot it. It's stopped by Madley as Robitaille went for the high side. Now in breaks Lake Superior, and a save by Scott King. What a great save by King on Jeff Naparella.
Naparella, full stride coming through the neutral zone. Had a great pass by Smith, and he just walks right in and takes a bomb on Scott King, and Scott comes up with a big save. You can see right after the shot, too, Scotty King gets a little extra activity there with a Laker player taking a little tumble.
That's Jim Dowd, number 9.
Who's always involved.
He's everywhere, yeah.
He's all over the place.
Scott King is so steady in net. Always plays well when his mother visits as well, too.
We should get her a house here.
He's a money goaltender, that's for sure. Maine has 2 of them, in fact. Now Working hard behind the net is Cernich, and Robitaille working just as hard to keep him off his puck. And it squirts outside the zone. Maine will break. Jim Burke, 3-on-2, moves to the right, wants to center it, but goes around the net instead. He'll drop it behind where Montgomery and Robitaille are there. Centering pass intercepted by Lake Superior. Jablonski fires in a shot, easily gloved by King, who will send it outside the zone. Robitaille breaks in with Montgomery. Maine will change on the play, and so Montgomery holds. Drops it for Burke. His shot winds up in the net, up over the glass.
Shows you what type of team Superior is. They're down by some goals, and they come right out. Maine gets a goal, and they just don't die. They're right on you, and it's going to be like that for the next 16 minutes here, Dale. And Sean Walsh, he knows that. He knows the Superior team can be explosive at any time.
Well, it is interesting that Maine's young team continues to do so well. Freshmen and sophomores. It is a freshman sophomore laden team, and look what they've done with the goals. Almost all of the goals scored by freshmen and sophomores, and tonight, for instance, Montgomery, a freshman, has a goal. Downey, a freshman, has a goal. Roy, a freshman, has a goal, and on it goes. Maine trying to center it. Pellerin's wraparound shot is blocked in front and winds up into the crowd, and that was dangerous. Looked like goal number 6 for a moment.
They recruit big, strong player. What do we have here? Hi, George, from Cindy.
All right.
All right, Cindy. Thank you for that nice note. George, I hope you're enjoying that.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
In Maine or the Maritimes or New Hampshire.
Here we can see a nice wraparound shot by Scott Pellerin, and Manley just puts the pad down and sends it upstairs. We have friends tonight watching in Elliott, Maine.
Hey, all right.
All the way down New Hampshire border there. The Hipburn family, they're enjoying the game tonight.
Now Pellerin on the puck for the Bears. Gets it back to the point, intercepted by Waite, and out breaks Lake Superior. Number 8, Tim Harris, is ridden to the boards by Blair of Maine. In goes deep is Roy, intercepted by Waite. Now it's in front, and it hits the side of the net. King is out of position, a wraparound shot, and a score. Well, you could see that one coming, as King was going around to one side, and Waite had an open net. I can put that one in, and that was just a tough break for Maine.
Well, the puck got poked past Scott King, who was trying to control on the side of the net, and he went out to try picking it up and freezing it, and he got caught out of the net, and the puck rolled through, and it was just a nice wraparound goal. Puts the Lakers right back in. You see Scott trying to control it.
That was Stauber with that shot.
And looks like he might have caught his skate a little bit on the net, and just tough turnover and a tough goal.
And that'll get the Lakers jump started for what they need, and it's a 5-3 score now. Doug Waite gets the goal. That's his 10th goal of the year. Stauber will get an assist, and with 15 minutes to go in the game, it is a 2-goal difference now. Don't go anywhere, folks, because I get to believe it's going to be a photo finish. Two of the best teams in college hockey today going at it. At center ice comes Christian Lalonde. He'll move in and fire it. It gets behind Madley and jumps loose, but on it is Carl Johnson. Back he comes, moving in one-on-one against Burke. Waits for some help. Good play by Maine's Tomberlin to lift the stick, but now they're going to say that's a penalty. I thought he just lifted the stick, but apparently he did more than that. We'll take a break in the action. It's Maine 5 and Lake Superior 3.
This is me, Gail McHero, before Nutrisystem. And this is me after Nutrisystem. I lost 160 pounds and I feel beautiful. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, to feel beautiful again. And I knew I could, and I did it. After I lost weight, my mother saw me and she looked at me and she cried and she hugged me and she says, "Oh, I have my beautiful girl back."
For free consultation, call 773-1845 or these other locations.
Here we see the attempt by Christian Lalonde, looking for a pass, and he just decides to let that shot go. You can see how far Manley's out of the net. Doesn't give Christian a lot to shoot at, but the puck does dribble through his legs, and the Superior defenseman just clears the puck.
Madley was thankful that DeVita was right behind him to clear that puck. And so Lake Superior is on the power play. Martin Mercier goes off for 2 minutes. The call is interference, okay. This is a key juncture of this game. If the Bears can kill this penalty, or will Lake Superior get this thing to within 1 goal? Let's see what happens. John Walsh. Now Frank Anzalone talking to his troops. He will send out Montgomery, Roy, Carney, and Scremin to kill off the penalty. Cernich is out there with Kesmer, along with Jablonski, Breslin, and Moger. And another whistle.
When Maine forces on the blue line, they cause Superior to make plays that they're not used to on that blue line, and hopefully it'll draw people off sides. In that case, they made a pass up and drew them offside. There's a Maine fan praying for this victory. He wants it. He can feel it.
Anything that works, right? 13:56 left in the third period. The Bears with a 5-3 lead. We are live from Alfond Arena, one of the best from the east against one of the best from the west, or at least from the central part of the country. Naparelli bumped off the play by Roy, who's a very strong player. On it now is Carl Johnson, who will dump it in. The Bears making the Lakers stand up at that blue line. And a whistle, and the face-off is going to come outside the zone.
It's a high stick call there. When the Lakers batted it down, the stick above the shoulders knocks the puck down. That calls for a whistle to be outside the zone.
And this is the third or fourth whistle on the power play, and I'm sure that Maine would like to have the stop-and-go action during this power play opportunity. Well, will this be a first tonight for Frank Anzalone's team? We shall see in the next 13 minutes or so, but no one has been able to beat this Sioux Laker team outside of the CCHA until tonight. Maybe. We'll see. Now Harris, as the Lakers try to get cranked up on the power play, and Kesmer just drops it in on King, who will hold on, and Maine will get another whistle. And I would think that this is just fine and dandy for Scott King and company. Shots on goal, Lake Superior with 22, Maine with 20 at this point in the game.
Most of those shots have been quality shots too, Dale. We haven't been seeing a lot of outer perimeter shots that, goaltenders have an easier time with. They've all been right in the high slot area, and good goal-scoring shots, which are always fun to get.
Yes.
We must add.
It'll be Naparelli against Barkley on the draw. Back it'll come to Waite, who tees it up. It's blocked in front. I think it hit Stauber of Lake Superior. Remember the Lakers on the power play. Carney doing a good job keeping it up the boards. But now on it is Dowd, and now the shot in. Score! Tipped in front by Jeff Naparella, number 17, and there is a hush over the Alfond Arena.
Naparella, real smart, just standing off to the side of the net, and the puck just came right down to him, and all he had to do was redirect it in the upper shelf past Scotty King. Here we can see on the replay, the puck just comes down from the D-man, and he just more or less just redirects it on a one-timing shot, and just goes upstairs over Scott King's glove hand.
And things are very, very interesting now. 5-4, Maine with the lead. The crowd is up and standing and hollering, trying to give the Bears a little lift. Naparelli gets the goal, his 18th. give the assist to Carl Johnson and give Jim Dowd another assist, and in breaks Whitmire for Maine. All the way he comes, knocked down on the play by Smith. Belpay to the boards. Ashley fires it around the dasher. Campbell Blair, though, keeps it in for Maine. Now to the boards. It's centered in front, but can't quite get to the stick of Whitmire. Hendry starts out for Lake Superior. He'll fire it on center ice. There's a rebound, and Maine will clear it. Ooh, that was close. Now Naparelli just fires it in the Maine zone. That'll be offside if Lake Superior touches it. Out breaks Maine. Here's Pellerin. He'll shoot it just wide. Ooh, that was a reminder of that Providence series. Remember that in the playoffs? Coming down that left side. This is Claudio Scremin. He'll move in 2-on-2 with Roy. Can't connect with Jean-Yves. And Lake Superior is finally taking over the puck and will break out. Intercepted by Maine. There's action behind the play again. The crowd wanted a whistle. Now Lake Superior putting the pressure on. In front all alone is Dowd. Is stopped, and he fires it high over the net. Oh, Dowd had an open corner, and he flipped it high.
Maine defenseman caught in the corner and left Dowd all open in front. That was close, Dale.
Dowd is one of the trickiest players we have seen this year. He had one shot for point-blank range and had King down, but he flipped it too high, or else this game would be tied. Now Montgomery for Maine, and that's offside, and so we'll have a whistle. 10:53 left in the game. The Bears clinging to a one-goal lead. And Sean Walsh knows that this next 10 minutes will be the longest of his life.
Well, he's got 10 miles to go to get this victory, Dale, and it's going to be a long 10 miles for him. His players they can't take a shift off against this explosive Superior team. Here we can see a little action in front. Both Maine defensemen caught down low. Scott King just sprawling out, trying to get his body on that puck, and Dowd just tried lifting it over him. And a couple inches lower, Dale, this game would be tied up. You can't give a player with Dowd's caliber chances like that very long.
Well, Jim Dowd is an amazing player. As we have another penalty, well, it'll come on Dowd, believe it or not. Again, away from the action. Jim Dowd is off, and the Bears are on a power play. Dowd is a record-breaking scorer in high school from 2 or 3 years ago in Brooktown, New Jersey. He scored an amazing amount of points in high school. Now Robitaille. The Bears are on the power play. Let's see what happens here. Waite wants to clear it, tries to kick it outside the zone, but can't. And finally, it does trickle over the blue line. This is Pete Stauber trying to break in on the left side. Montgomery will take him to the boards, get help from Straub, and Bryan takes over. Dowd is off. The call was interference. Now Maine's Straub at the point. He has logged a lot of ice time, he and Carney. Now Straub tees it up. It's blocked down in front, and it skips outside the zone. A minute even left on this power play. 9:50 left in the game. The Bears with a 5-4 lead over Lake Superior. Now LaPrade intercepts for the Lakers and fires it in on Scott King as the Bears try to get it cranked up. Roy is out there with Olsen and Pellerin. Here comes Roy moving in around the net, trying to center it. He'll drop it off for Pellerin, and Olsen rather. Olsen tries to wrap around but can't. Blair does a nice job to keep it in. Now Roy tries to move to the center, is ridden off the play. Blair keeps it in. He tips it in front there, and Olsen is knocked down on the play. That's Pellerin.
Both Scott Pellerin and Andy Smith are going to be going off. One interesting thing to point out here, Dale, Maine has great success on their power play. One reason is because they all come out together. They all come out together from their defensive zone. Here we can see the shot coming in from the point. The stick gets up there a little high. Smith says, I don't want to take that. Knocks him down.
And so they will both go off.
So Maine, they come out of their zone so well. They come out, all 5 men come up and they cross the red line all at the same time, and that gives them a lot of momentum to carry the puck into the zone and set the power play up.
And so Pellerin and Smith will go off on matching penalties.
Smith, 2 minutes for hitting after the whistle.
And Smith's call is hitting after the whistle. And they give Pellerin a cross-check. John looks very reserved tonight. Is that a good word to describe him?
Yes. He's a reserved person anyway.
Well, he knows this is an important game. He did not like the idea of his Bears dropping to number 12, tied for 12th in the national poll. Sometimes it can be a tough climb back, and he knows he's got to do well against Frank Anzalone's club today, this weekend. And a stoppage in play, and I believe they're trying to work out the scoreboard, I guess, as they're trying to, I think they're trying to put those penalties up on the scoreboard, but for some reason it isn't working, and so there's a stoppage in play. And again, we want to remind you that the Bears have played awfully well in leading in games after 2 periods of play. And when they're tied or trailing, you can see that they're only 500. Right now, they're hanging on.
For a young team, that's a very impressive stat, because that's one of the knocks against young teams. They can't hold on to a lead. But this Maine team has definitely learned how to win. And that's most important.
Well, for whatever reason, the clock, the scoreboard does not put the penalties up there. Whether it's a malfunction, I don't know. But here comes Roy. In he breaks to the left side, tries to make a move. He's pinned against the boards. Now Belfay goes, and he's pinned. Roy gets up and almost tries to jam that thing in. Roy. Now Olsen in front. That puck is loose and free. Scremin is on it now for Maine. He'll just tip it in front there. Belfay, another shot and a third shot. And finally, Madley gets a hold of it. And now, more action after the whistle, and will we see more penalties? Belfay, and I can't quite see the Lake Superior player. Number 2, I think, DeVita, isn't it? Number 2.
Here you see a couple of good blasts from Claudio Scremin. Little action in front of the net. He just figures once again he's going to throw it on net and see what happens.
There's one save.
Manley kicks out the big rebound, and he just tees it up again and lets it go. Roy standing off to the left, just praying for that puck to slide over to him. He'd have an empty net to put her in. And we can see Brian Belfay getting into it a little bit with DeVito. Emotions running high, Dale.
Yeah, very high at this point. It's picking up a notch with every minute that goes by. 8:40 now left, and we will have again matching minor penalties. The scoreboard is malfunctioning. Now they're putting up Belfay's penalty at least. DeVita and Belfay will go off. Already in the box on matching penalties is Pellerin.
It's very important for Maine not to get caught up in that extracurricular activity. Superior State wants them to draw those penalties and try and retaliate a little bit. And that's just going to hurt Maine in the long run if they have to play shorthanded.
And so we'll play 4-on-4. Johnson ahead, it'll go, tipped by King wide. Dowd is on it. Watch out for him. Jablonski now for the Superior Lakers. There's a shot in front. King holds on. Puck squirts loose, but the whistle had already blown. Another great save by Scott King as the clock continues to tick. 8:14 left in the game. Hey, if you like this college hockey action, you'll love the college basketball action we have for you tomorrow on the Maine Black Bear Television Network. The Maine Bears will host the Hartford Hawks live at the Bangor Auditorium tomorrow afternoon. The action starts at 1 when the Lady Black Bears of Trish Roberts take on the Hartford Hawks. Maine women undefeated in North Atlantic Conference play, and then Rudy Keeling's team, hey, they can take another giant step forward with another conference win over the Hartford Hawks. That'll be played immediately following the women's game. So a doubleheader college basketball action for you tomorrow afternoon right here on the stations of the Maine Broadcasting System. We hope you'll tune in. Now Montgomery ahead to Downey. He'll shoot it. It's stopped by Madley, and he'll hold on. And that was a little bit of a bouncing puck, and Darren Madley did well to hold on.
Christian Lalonde shooting that puck in full stride, making Madley move right with him, and that's a heck of a save. You got to give Madley a tap on that one. because when goaltenders start moving and they're trying to stop shots, it even makes it just as difficult as anything because they can't move their feet. They're too busy skating. He got that glove down there and scooped that one right up. That's a heck of a save.
Madley comes into this game with a 9-2 record. His goals against average was 2.11. Obviously, that's going to go up after giving up 5 goals already this year.
Beginning of the year, Anzalone very worried about his goaltending. He felt that was the question mark of the team. Who was going to step in and play well for him?
Obviously, the Brandon Reed and Madley have come through with flying colors so far, but Maine has gotten them for 5 goals tonight. Now Waite smartly ahead to Pete Stauber, who will get it to Mark Astley. He'll move around, but can't get around the defensive man, Keith Carney. Good play, Keith.
Great poke check by Keith Carney.
Now to the corner is Cord Cernich. Behind the net, Roy ties him up. It jumps over the net. In front, Carney. He'll try to move. He'll shoot. And it's score! No, it didn't go in. I thought for sure it went in for a moment. Roy, there's a shot stopped by Madley. And finally, he holds on. Oh, boy, I thought that puck went over the line.
From our angle, it sure did look like that puck went over the line.
Holy cow. Well,
Bunday was right down on the scene there. He saw the whole thing. Madley showing great concentration. Keith Carney just pulls the puck back. He didn't have much room to do that, and he just stays right on it. It came out, but it didn't go over the line.
Oh. 4 inches, 3 inches maybe?
How'd you like to be a goaltender here? He's scrambling. He can't see the puck. He's down. There's players on him, and he knows that puck's around. If that stick wouldn't have been on the ice, that puck would have been in the net.
Yes, absolutely.
Madley's kind of sprawling like a fish, a big flounder laying on the ice there, trying to regain his composure. A stick on the ice saved Superior on that barrage.
And now the Alfond Arena is rocking. Everybody standing and applauding, trying to give the Bears another lift. It's 5-4 Maine with 7 minutes to go in the game. Still skating 4-on-4, matching minor penalties to Belfay and DeVita. In breaks Dowd. He'll try to move it on net, goes behind. Stauber is on him, crunches him to the boards, and Maine starts back. Pellerin can't get around the man for the moment, and the man does get him to go offside, however, and we'll have a whistle. A break in the action. It's 5-4. The Bears clinging to a 1-goal lead.
The girl of my dreams. She taught me what real love means. You can't beat it. The feeling you get when your love is the real thing. Hi, Daddy. Can't beat the feeling.
Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the feeling.
Arena. I'm Dale Duff along with Scott Smith and Rich Kimball, bringing you great college hockey action. Maine and Lake Superior, the Bears with the 1-goal lead. They have never trailed in this game. Both teams now back to full strength as the matching minors to DeVita and Belfay have expired.
Icing call.
And Madley is saying, "Oh, thank you for that stick on the ice." I don't know whose it was at the time, but Darren Madley is saying thank you very, very much.
He's played a heck of a hockey game so far.
And he has played well, yes. Face off to the left of King. There's a shot that goes wide, taken by Breslin. Maine trying to clear the zone, and does. Mercier up the left side. He'll come. Whitmire trying to move in. Poke check nicely by Smith. Get it to the corner where Fenton is ridden to the boards, but he stays on it. Tries to move in front. Jams himself into the net, and finally they call it a tie-up. Now Belfay is going at it again with Michael Smith, I think, for Lake Superior.
Little action after the whistle here. Steve Whitmire is kind of hanging out, and I'm going to say, well, I'm going to give that goaltender one more little shot here and see what happens. had his skates pulled out a little bit, and here we go. Brian Belfay stepping right in, and give him a little push. How you doing? Welcome to the Alphont.
Well, we're seeing more and more of that too on every whistle as the game gets closer and closer to the end. 6:18 as we continue to keep an eye on the clock for you. 6:18 to go in the third period. The Bears with a 5-4 lead. Maine jumped out with 3 goals in the first period, but it has been oh so close since that barrage in that first period. DeVita being chased by Robitaille. Robitaille makes him cough up the top. On it now is Breslin. Ahead to Hendry. But it's too far and Straub takes over. Breslin just sweeps it in the Maine zone, but Maine will take over again. Carney hauled down. Downey just tries to clear the zone but can't. Robitaille tries to do it and cannot. Downey and Robitaille working hard trying to get that over the blue line. Finally they do. Now 4 men collide against the boards. The puck is loose. The puck has to be moved, and it is finally driven in by Lake Superior. Now it's kicked out to center ice. Fired in by Astley. King will play it. Lake Superior makes wholesale changes. 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the third period. Maine with a 5-4 lead over Lake Superior. In is Claudio Scrimmin. Ahead, Maine trying to break through the zone, and they do, dumping the puck in. Kesmer is on it. They wave off icing. Now it's Olsen. Randy Olsen holds, tries to maneuver, spins, still with the puck. He's ridden to the boards hard by Johnston. Continuing to work hard. The puck squirts in front. Roy was down on the play and almost tipped that home. Now Pellerin. Behind the net, it squirts in front, and Madley will glove it. Oh, Roy, if he had scored that goal, it would have been something, because he was down on his knees and almost tipped it home, and we're going to have more penalties.
Doug Wright and Randy Olsen are going to be gone here. A little scuffling after the players, a little elbow.
Ouch. That's Johnson, Carl Johnson.
That was right in front of... There's a little action in front of the net. We're getting it all over here, Dale.
And now they're going to call matching penalties. Look at Roy. Oh, boy.
John Eaves went to the net. The whistle hadn't blown.
And the Lake Superior say, his hands up saying, hey, what'd I do?
The linesman got to get a wake-up call there and make that whistle. Manley had it in his glove, and no whistle was blowing.
And so the penalty call will be against Randy Olsen of Maine and Doug Waite of Lake Superior. They will be matching penalties, 2 minutes.
That was a case of all the officials watching all the extra stuff and no one was watching the puck.
And this is kind of the Lake Superior style, as we have indicated all night long. And I'll tell you what, Sean Walsh's troops have done well to keep composure, to keep their poise, and to continue to play their style of game. And so far, Maine's style of game is winning 5-4. 4:28 left in the third period. The crowd is up and at it again. Barkley will take the draw against Dowd. Only this time, I think they're going to throw Dowd out. Puck winds up down in the Maine zone. On it is Claudio Scrimmin for Maine. Now Christian Lalonde. He's pinned to the boards by Jablonski. Puck remains loose. Finally, it's Barkley on it for Maine. Mike Barkley dumps it into the open corner. More action behind the play again. The crowd oohing and awing. On it is Cord Cernich, a very talented blue liner. In he comes. Penalty coming up on Maine. They dump it in. King will play it, and the whistle blows. We'll take a break in the action. Maine will be shorthanded when we come back. It is 5-4. The Bears have the lead.
Get the look for less, 20 to 40% less during the sale at Young's. 20 to 40% off Henriton, Knob Creek, and James River. 20 to 40% off all furnishings at Young's. Your look, the right look. 20 to 40% off during the sale at Young's.
Young's, we've got the look.
You see the numbers on the Alfond Arena scoreboard. Just under 4 minutes left. The Bears clinging to the lead, but they have some work to do now because Keith Carney's in the box.
Well, Keith Carney, their leader, back on the point. Just tied up his man Dowell a little bit at the line, and Dowell went down, and geez, it looked like he might have been coming from Hollywood there. Maybe a little acting. But as it stands, 4-on-3 for Superior State.
So out there for Maine is Jim Burke, Martin Robitaille, and Claudio Squimmin.
A lot of ice out there right now, Dale. A lot of open ice.
Face-off won by Lake Superior. Kesmer at the point. Now Johnson. He'll tee it up in front. It goes wide. Now Johnson to Dowd.
Maine using an inverted triangle, trying to kill this with 2 men high.
Johnson in front, blocked by Robitaille, I believe, but not cleared out of the zone. 4-on-3, Lake Superior. There's a shot by Johnson, stopped in front. Puck is loose. It's cleared away by Robitaille. Johnson is on it again. There's a quick shot in front. It's blocked. Never reached King that time. Dowd in front all alone is Stauber. Can't get the puck away, though. Stauber is on it again. Now quickly to Dowd. 33 seconds left. Maine will get a man back. Stauber and Kesmer. There's a shot in front. Score! Dan Kesmer from the point as he fired it right along the ice.
Scott King was screened by Dow, and Kesmer just let a good, hard, quick shot right on the ice, and it went right through Scotty's pads. Tough break because Maine was killing this penalty very well.
And so another goal from a defenseman. This time, Danny Kesmer.
As we can see here on the replay, a little bit late on the camera shot, but hey, that puck went right through the pads of Scott King. He didn't even see that one. Here's a little different angle. Puck comes back, and you can see Dow and Jimmy Burke, 2 big fellas, standing right in front of Scott King. Dow hanging right out. It went through 2 sets of legs, and boom, it's in the net.
I don't know. Did Dow tip that? I don't think so. Now, they give it to Kesmer. It's his 9th goal of the year. Game is brand new. 5-5 with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the game.
Bone-crushing check by Scott Pellerin.
Now Carney moves in 3-on-2 for the moment. He'll try to spin but can't get the shot off. Now up breaks Naparelli. He'll try to break in alone. He'll shoot it just wide of King. Oh, that was going to be dangerous for a moment as he broke in. Now Maine comes back. Brian Straub rushes. Drops for Olson. He'll just drive it in deep. Pellerin can't get to it as they kick it around the dasher. Carney moves in to keep it in for the moment, but it's finally cleared by Lake Superior. 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the third period. It's 5-5. Scott Pellerin up the right side against Johnson. Tries to go, and Johnson creams him to the boards. 2-on-2 they go at it now. In there is Tomberlin as well. Johnson in there with Moger now for Lake Superior. Maine keeping the puck alive. Tomberlin working hard against the boards. Now Pellerin. He's pinned again as they continue to work it, and Johnson gets it out of there for the Sioux Lakers. Now it comes out to Astley, who drops it for Hendry. He drive it in. Now Olson pins his man to the board. Puck behind the Maine net. 1.5 minutes left in the third period. We are tied at 5. The puck jumps loose. Lalonde is on it to Tomberlin. He can't clear the zone. Astley keeps it in. Now behind the net. They continue to work, and Maine trying to clear the zone. The puck pops up in the air. Try to say that 3 times fast. And finally, we've got a whistle.
Scott Pellerin did the right thing there. That puck was in his glove, and he just took that and threw it. Get it out of here. They needed a stop and play. Claudio Scremin was out there for about a minute. He's dying.
1:03 left in regulation. It is Maine 5. It is Lake Superior 5.
Maine was in their zone for a few minutes, and they had great poise. They were consistent. They stayed with the puck. People picked up their players, and they got it out of the zone without any trouble.
Smith drives it in. Doug Waite is on it dangerously behind the Maine net. Also back there is Tim Harris. Maine gets on it. Robitaille is crushed to the boards by Stauber. He continues to work hard. Stauber against Burke now. Harris has it jump over his stick, and Maine is on it. We're under a minute. In fact, we've got 37 seconds and counting left in regulation. It's a 5-minute overtime period. Remember that if we go that way. Harris clears the zone. And will it be icing? Yes. 24 seconds left in regulation, and we may see overtime again. Oh, what a great game this has been. You just had the feeling Maine controlled for the first half of the game, but you have to give Lake Superior credit. They dug in and dug in and dug in, and even down by 3, they just never gave up. They kept chipping away.
Well, that's why they're one of the best teams in the nation. You can never let a team like that back into a hockey game. I'm not saying Maine did. Lake Superior just turned it on. Maine has been playing very consistent tonight, playing very well. And we're going to have a timeout.
Yeah, Sean's sticking out the chalkboard and wants to clock things over, and so each team gets 1 30-second timeout in the game, and Sean will spend his right now.
As a player, you're sitting there on the bench, and you've been into the game all night, and you're just dying. You're just hoping that Sean's going to say, hey, Dale, jump out there. You're in front of the net for the rebound.
Oh, boy. All right, we want to remind you that we got some interesting action coming your way on the Maine Broadcasting System stations. Sunday afternoon, it's live from the Igloo in Pittsburgh. It's the NHL All-Star Game. Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky, Cam Neely, Ray Bourque, the Bruins, all will be there 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. It's the best hockey players in the world, Sunday afternoon on Channel 2 in Bangor and 6 Alive in Portland, the stations you count on for sports. And while we have a timeout, let's take a look at what turned out to be the game-tying goal. It came off the stick of Kesmer.
Kesmer just slides in the middle and just puts a shot on net, and you could see that Dow was right in front of Scotty King, screening him perfectly, and the puck just snuck between his pads. It was a tough break for Scott King,
who has played very well in net. And at least several of the goals, you can't really fault him when you're blocked like that. And here's where the coaches really earn their money. I don't know. What can you tell them?
Well, Sean will come out and have a strategy for sure. He'll have one of the key men on the point get the puck, probably Keith Carney. They'll probably want to win the draw back to Keith and have a good hard shot in on net. You know, 8 to 6 inches off the ice. Hopefully there'll be a rebound. Here, I wouldn't be surprised if they try pulling it back to Claudio Scremin and sliding over to Keith Carney in the slot. They really don't have to rush it. They have 24 seconds, and that's a lot of time. They may not sound like a lot of time, but a lot of things can happen in 24 seconds.
Barkley, Roy, Belfay, Carney, and Scremin. I'll bet Belfay parks himself right in front of the net. What do you bet after this, if they win the draw?
That's his job, just to get in the front and cause havoc, and he's a heck of a guy to do that.
The perfect scenario would be have Barkley win the draw, get it to Roy, have Belfay parked in front, and they can't drop the puck because it's so intense out there that everybody's jumping the gun a bit. The clock has yet to start as they have not dropped the puck yet.
The Lakers are really going to want to block out the front so Mattingly can have clear vision of the puck wherever it goes.
Dowd is out there taking the face-off for the Lakers against Barkley. And again, the linesman and the referee trying to get people to get their sticks down. Now they kick Barkley out of the face-off. Ed Bunyan, the referee, says, okay, that's enough. You're out. And Belfay will move in to take it. Belfay against Dowd now. And it squirts. There's a shot on. It goes high. Oh, man, that was close. 16 seconds to go in regulation. Jablonski can't move it ahead, and Roy has it. 10 seconds to go. He'll fly up the left side. His shot will wind up in the balcony with 6 ticks left on the clock. Face-off will come inside the zone, right at the top of the circle there. And Roy, if he could have gotten one more stride, I think he could have had a corner, or at least gone for a corner.
He had a little bit better angle for sure.
And now let's see if Lake Superior spends a timeout. This time, John Walsh sends out Robitaille, Pellerin, Carney, and Widmeyer in scrimmage. There's the shot right off the face-off that went high. And I'm not even sure who took a whack at it, but it almost was labeled to go in. And now time will expire as we have completed regulation with the score Maine 5 and Lake Superior 5.
One nice thing to see, I know Sean was a little concerned at the first of the year. They had a little bit of trouble with their game, the way they were playing. And tonight he's got to be happy, even though the game is tied and Lake Superior came back, but you have to give them credit for being a real good hockey team. Sean's team has played with great consistency all night, and that's all you can ask for out of his younger players, is to play hard every night, and that's what he's gotten so far.
And take a look at Darren Madley, who has got to be bushed out there. Scott King as well. It is so intense out there. Every single play means so much. Let's see if we can listen in on Sean.
Second guy goes, but we always have 3 guys back. Always. As we get going on transition, that's how we play.
Important, 3 men back at all times. That means one of those forward has to come back and help out the defense. One of the main objectives of Sean's forecheck. Here we can see a little bit different angle of the goal that tied this game. You just see a nice pass back to the point, and a nice low shot, Dow right in front of Scott King, and the puck just goes through all types of confusion there. Skates, sticks, the whole bit, and just slips through.
Dan Kesmer gets the goal, his 9th of the year. By the way, at the end of regulation, there have been 46 minutes in penalties. Lake Superior has 26 and Maine has 20. So it is relatively easy. And so we'll take a break here, a brief 2 or 3 minute pause. They will not resurface the ice, and we will play a 5-minute overtime period, and you see the record so far this year.
Lake Superior either wins or ties them.
Maine exactly 500 on the year. If you're looking for standout players, remember that Roy has 6 game-winning goals.
Can never count out Keith Carney either. He's always involved.
Jean-Yves
Roy.
And isn't that interesting that he has scored both of the game winners in the overtime games that the Bears have won this year as well.
He's a very interesting player. In the offensive zone, you can't really find him until, boom, the puck's on his stick and it's in the net. He's real sneaky in the offensive zone, creates a lot of confusion in the high slot area. Then once his wingers get control of the puck, he's right there, and boom, the puck's on his stick, and it's hopefully usually always in the net. Jean-Yves Roy from Montreal. Sean talking about the intensity they need in front. They always want a man right in that crease area. Hopefully trying to pick up a garbage goal.
Well, it has been all that was billed in this game as the Bears jumped out to a 3-0 lead in that first period. The Bears just had things going their way. They controlled play. The Lake Superior team continued to battle back and got the thing tied late in the game, 5-5.
Little guy there is pondering at the outcome.
He's saying, who's going to score the game winner, if there is one to be scored?
That's one thing nice about when I was playing, meet the little kids, and they love hockey, and all they want to do is talk hockey and receive sticks and pucks, and that's a big part of the game.
Yeah. All right, so we are set for our overtime period. It is a 5-minute next goal wins situation. And out there is Robitaille and Dowd, and they will quickly be escorted out of the face-off circle, both of them. And so in steps Naparali and Montgomery. They'll take the draw. All right, it is Johnson on it for the Lakers. He'll dump it in, but Jim Burke is on it for the Bears. We're in overtime. Next goal wins. It's a 5-minute, one-time overtime period. Now Carney behind the net. Jablonski tries to get a handle to the puck, but can't. Montgomery tries to sweep it outside the zone and does. It will not get down, though, for any icing call. Now it's ahead. King will play the puck, move it up outside the zone where Montgomery connects with Downey. Robitaille heads for the net. In front, it comes cross-wing to Carney. He'll tip it on front. Robitaille is there, goes to the corner. Smith hauls him down. Robitaille gets up and keeps the puck on the move. Now it squirts out to center ice. We've played a minute in this overtime period. 5-5, two of the best teams in college hockey going after. Now Lalonde, he'll dump it ahead. It'll move around the dasher, but Madley is there to stop it. Now Olsen, nicely to keep it in, but it's knocked out of the zone by Harris. And now the Sioux Lakers just fired in from center ice. Stauber is there to get to it, but Scremin is there as well for Maine. Keep the puck moving. Wait, number 11, against the boards. They clear the zone. Smith just takes it and flips it high and knocks it back in. Territorial play in this overtime period is to Lake Superior for the moment. Now Maine just flips it outside the zone and out breaks Roy. He'll move in one-on-one. His shot is tipped and it winds up into the balcony. That was a very similar play to the end of regulation.
Lucky fan grabbed that puck.
Congratulations from Jean-Yves, off the stick of Jean-Yves.
That's the man you want with that biscuit. You can see him just coming down here, and he knows he's got a good shot, and he just lets one rip. That goes off Randy Smith's stick and up into the balcony.
3 minutes and 13 seconds in regulation, in overtime rather. Barkley will take the draw against Naparali, or check that against Jablonski. Mercier is out there.
Martin Mercier has a big job in this face-off to hold those Laker players out from getting out to Jimmy Burke, where the draw should be going.
Tomberlin, Straub, and Burke out there for him as well. And again, another whistle on the face-off as everybody is moving on the play before the puck is dropped. So
well,
they'll do it again.
The centers get lined up and the sticks are down, and all that ref needs is a split second. He's supposed to drop that puck. If he waits and waits and waits, of course the guys are going to pull off. Once they get set, they should drop the puck and let them go.
That's Breslin out there. Tim Breslin along with Barkley on the draw. It's won by Maine. They try to move it on net. It's swept wide. Tomberlin can't get to it. Hendry does for the Lakers. Tomberlin intercepts. He'll move right back in. He's got Mercier, but he'll go to the corner. Martin Mercier trying to make a move behind the net. He's got two Lakers on him. Smith takes him to the boards. DeVita does, rather. Tomberlin is in to help out. Tomberlin centers to Burke. He'll drive it in deep. Mercier is still there. Puck squirts loose, and on it is Madley to cover it up.
Smart play by Madley. You see his defenseman having a little trouble getting the puck out, and he just jumps on it and gets a whistle. Martin Mercier working like a little demon in there trying to get the puck out. Puck comes off the boards and he just grabs it. He says, I need a break here. Martin Mercier out battling two Laker players, probably given 30 to 40 pounds on each of those players, and tough little hockey player.
2:44 in the overtime period to go. Robitaille with Downey and Montgomery. Carney and Scremin play the point now for Maine. Frank Anzalone has out his number one line of Dowd, Naparali, and Jablonski. Kesmer and Astley are on defense. And again, they can't get the puck delivered as everybody's moving.
Martin Robitaille right involved, getting into it.
They can't get it down, and now they move out to Naparelli.
The opposing player, the opposing team's player has to have his stick down first. And then the home player comes in and puts his stick down.
So Jablonski takes the face-off with Barkley. The puck is loose. It squirts to Madley, who will easily stick it aside. Now behind the net, Carl Johnson with it for the Sioux Lakers. Robitaille watching him like a hawk, trying to intercept. Now at center ice, Jablonski loses the handle, and here comes Jim Montgomery. He'll tee it up. It's stopped by Madley. Downey can't get to the rebound. Finally, they blow the whistle as the puck winds up underneath a Laker player.
Jeff Naparella with a real smart play. Good thing he grabbed Jimmy Montgomery and took his man, because Jimmy would have had a wide open net to get that, shoot that rebound into.
And so we will go through the face-off menagerie one more time. You see it, 2:18 to go in overtime. The Bears at 17-7-1. The Lakers at 24-2. Olsen will take it against Waite. And again, Stauber moves in too quick. Now Roy with the puck for Maine around the net. He'll wrap it in front. It's loose. Maine can't get a stick on it as a man is hauled down. And out breaks Stauber. Up over the right side is a bouncing puck. He'll get the puck to number 8, Tim Harris. Back to the point, is tipped in front, goes wide. That was dangerous for Maine with under 2 minutes to go in the game. Here comes Olsen. Up the right side, in front. He can't get it to Roy's stick. And finally, the whistle is called as the pipes come off the mooring one more time.
Great end-to-end action.
Wow.
Maine will get another break here with a face-off in the zone. Bundy feeling that the Laker player pushed Roy into the net. You can see Roy trying to wrap around, and a lot of action now. You can see off to the left-hand side of the net, he actually gets tackled.
Well, he sure does.
That guy's going to play in the Super Bowl next weekend.
Well, it's hard to call a penalty at this stage. You always know.
You're not going to get a penalty called in overtime unless it's... I don't know.
Well, if you don't call that penalty, you're probably not going to call any. I mean, unless the match is... Obviously, he was hauled down. 1:49 left in the game. The other thing that was a key play on that little instance was the player that held Pellerin's stick off the ice. Pellerin kept whacking away trying to get that thing.
Well, if the fans want to watch clutch and grab, this is clutch and grab hockey.
Barkley will take the draw from me.
The Alphon cranking up.
Here it comes to Belfay, but he falls down. Out breaks Jablonski. Ahead it'll come with Naparella. Scremin will take him to the boards. Now Burke is knocked down by Jablonski. The puck squirts free. Barkley now loses the puck to Dowd. Now Scremin, and Tomberlin tips it outside the zone. Now Cernich, and we've got a whistle, and
Martin Mercier ran Michael Smith into the... That's so dangerous right around the penalty box. There's chunks of glass, the plexiglass around the rink that are exposed, and players really can get hurt there. Michael Smith probably got the wind knocked out of him. We see Merce just come across him. Nice clean hit, and oops, there we go.
Yeah, right into that corner.
Smarts a little bit.
Yeah, right where the penalty box area is, and you can see that glass.
In the heat of the action, sometimes you don't realize, that glass looks like it's there, and boom, you're right in the penalty box. Got to knock you right over.
And so there is a minute and 23 left. Lake Superior is calling for a timeout, and they will get it. And so we'll have Lake Superior spend their 30-second timeout, which usually means about a minute. Seem to get more than that 30 seconds. 1:23 left in overtime. It is 5-5.
I think overall tonight we have to give credit to the officiating. I think it's been a pretty evenly officiated game. No East Coast homers or anything as some teams feel when they play on the East Coast.
Well, both coaches, and in particular Frank Anzalone, were very concerned with the officiating, hoping that it wasn't a matter of personality, it was just a matter of style of calling a game. And I think that Ned Bunyan's done an outstanding job.
Toughest job on the ice. Officiating. Players and coaches, they have it easy compared to what the officials have to deal with. Not only do you have to deal with the opposing coaches and players, but 4,000 of these maniacs here going crazy every night. Tough job. But in the flip side of the coin, the Maine fans do appreciate a well-officiated game, and they let them know that.
Don't forget to tune in a week from tonight when the Northeastern Huskies come a-calling to Alfond Arena.
Which is always a war.
Which is, their play is very similar to the Lakers. And that is an important Hockey East affair. As they always say, you got to win your conference before you can win anything else. And so we hope you're with us a week from tonight for that. Robitaille and Waite will take the draw. Intercepted by Montgomery of Maine. Tries to flip it ahead to Robitaille, but it jumps outside the zone. Kearney will flip it in, and Maine has to come out and clear the zone. Now they do. It's kept in by Kearney. He'll shoot it just wide. Oh, I thought he had that one in the corner. It just went wide. Now Montgomery can't keep it in. Harris moves ahead to Waite. Waite gets around Kearney. Kearney comes back and takes him out. Good play by Kearney. Now Downey ahead. It can't connect with Montgomery. They wave off icing, and on it is Kesler. 45 seconds left in the game. Now Waite. He'll drive it behind the net. Jablonski is on it now. He'll try to move ahead against Burke. Dowd and Harris are out there. They move it in. Kearney hauled down. Jablonski is on it. Behind the net, Pellerin rubs his man to the boards. That's Dowd. Jablonski is alone in back. He'll try to stuff it home. King holds that corner. Oh, boy.
Scott Pellerin. He's been up and down this ice all night tonight. He has to be exhausted, along with Scott King.
19 seconds to go in the overtime.
The attempt on the wraparound. Scott King holding that post. He says this thing isn't moving.
Wow. So close and yet so far away.
Different angle. You can see how tight he is up against the post.
Look, 3-4 whacks at it. No, not by this corner.
Not tonight.
19 seconds. This is great hockey action, isn't it? Roy is out there now for Maine with Barkley and Robitaille, Scremin and Burke.
Sean Walsh is saying, what's going on here? Let them, they get another timeout, or what's the deal? There we go. Give him one extra one too, Sean. Give him one for me.
The face-off will come to the right of Scott King, and it'll be Dowd against Barkley. It is won by Maine. Claudio Scremin with it. Trying to move outside that zone. Can't do it. It's behind the net. Jablonski and King smartly snaps it around the dasher. We're down to 5 seconds to go, and it certainly looks like this thing will end up in a tie. The horn blows, and this game is over, and it is a 5-5 tie. We'll take a break and come back with the recap. The two teams end this game in overtime with a 5-5 tie. We'll come back to Alfond after this.
Drive home from Crazy Eddie's Rochester Lincoln Mercury in a 1990 Cougar featuring air conditioning, stereo cassette, and power options with $1,000 rebate, only $14,999. Or a 1990 Grand Marquis featuring an all-new instrument panel and driver's side airbag with $750 rebate, only $16,999. These super deals available at Crazy Eddie's Rochester Lincoln Mercury, Route 11 West in Rochester.
Lincoln Mercury Toyota Dodge. Crazy Eddie's. We got it all.
Amazing.
A very important film. You want to grab a bite?
Okay, something light?
Light? See, we do have something in common.
But not fast food.
No, definitely not.
How about Sizzler?
Great idea.
Could I have my purse?
Sizzler's pasta, tostada, fresh fruit, and salad bar. It's not just all you can eat, it's all you could want.
So, what's next?
More pasta.
It's not easy for most of us to figure out how to go about building or remodeling a kitchen. It's not something we do every day. That's why the folks at Hammond Lumber offer free expert kitchen design service, along with the latest kitchen innovations from respected manufacturers like KraftMaid. KraftMaid cabinets are made with superior quality craftsmanship, just like the folks at Hammond.
Experience to build on.
Back at Alfond Arena, it is over. It went into overtime, and the two teams played to a 5-5 tie. If you joined the game late, the Bears jumped out to a 3-0 lead in that first period of play and kind of controlled things. Lake Superior did get a late first period goal that kind of got them jump-started a little bit, and from then on it was very even play, and Lake Superior got a tying goal from Dan Kesmer with 3 minutes to go in the game to make it a 5-5 tie. We'll look at some of the action in the overtime period. There are some great saves by both teams.
Just up and down action, all the whole overtime, and we can see Lake Superior just dying for a goal, practically breaking his stick, and Scott King just isn't going to budge off that post.
Jablonski there trying to stuff that thing home on that corner, and Scott King wouldn't let it happen. And so the Bears move to 17-7-2, while Lake Superior moves to 24-3. It's a 5-5 tie. We'll come back after this.
You get your equipment, lift ticket, lessons. The instructors are super. Learning to ski at Sugarloaf is a great, great time.
Hey, I did it! Learning to ski at Sugarloaf USA was wicked awesome, and I had a ball doing it.
Here's the word is Sugarloaf has the best snow conditions in the East. This January 15th video shows the skiing is fantastic. Join us for White World Week, January 22nd through the 26th, and Sugarloaf will offer $12 lift tickets all week.
Check it out! Ew, look at that! You guys hear something?
You guys are so immature.
Was that your sister? I'm not sure.
It's a new year with new models of Sealy Ultra Premium bedding, so Green Mountain Furniture is closing out last year's with the ultimate guarantee. Sleep on a Sealy Posturepedic Ultra Premium sleep set for 30 days, and if you're not completely satisfied, return it for an exchange or a cheerful refund. And if that's not enough, we'll give you sheets, pillowcases, and the frame absolutely free. All this plus guaranteed satisfaction at your below pricing store.
Green Mountain Furniture has more than meets the eye.
Route 16, Ossipee, New Hampshire.
Well, we want to remind you that next Friday night, a week from tonight at 7 o'clock, we'll be right back here at Alfond Arena for more great hockey action. The Northeastern Huskies come to town, and it's a big Hockey East showdown, and you'll see it on Channel 2 here in Bangor and Channel 6 Alive in Portland, and that's Hockey East action, and of course that's oh so important for the Black Bears to keep in that dogfight, which is really a 4 or 5 team dogfight in Hockey East.
Northeastern, always tough, Dale, always tough.
Well, it's always kind of almost anticlimactic, if you will, to kind of end in a tie and a 5-5 overtime tie, but I guess you have to say that these two teams were very, very even tonight.
Well, you know, the Lakers came out a little bit slow. Maybe all the travel and things of that sort slowed them down, but Maine played consistent throughout the game. Sean has to be just disappointed that they came back and tied the game, but the team played fairly well, and they were consistent, and they were lacking some of that consistency earlier in the new year. The Lakers, they showed why they're one of the best teams in the nation. You know, they came back, they never said die, and that's why they're a winning program.
And these two teams do go at it again here at Alfond Arena tomorrow night, so it'll be interesting to see what style of play wins. It almost was like Maine's style of play won for the first half of the game, and then Lake Superior's style kind of won in the second half of the game.
Well, it was, you know, like you said, Maine came out and they played great the whole game, and the Lakers had a little slow start. Great hockey game to watch.
It really was something, and it's interesting to see the two different styles, and it again shows you that the game can be played in different styles and can be played successfully.
Well, Maine can play any style. They have the caliber of players that they can adjust to any type of style, whether it's a skating or hard checking. They've showed it tonight. They can do everything, and you know, they showed that no team can come into the Alfont and intimidate them.
Do you think that, did you get the feeling that the Bears are kind of out of their bad funk that they were in this first part of January by this tie tonight?
Well, they were moving the puck well, and to play against a team of this caliber, you know, Maine showed that they have the talent. It's just a matter of time getting things together and getting flow back. You know, they had a few days off for Christmas, and all that stuff takes a lot out of a player, and people have to realize that these aren't professionals. They're not ready every night, and they have a lot of other things to deal with other than Sean Walsh and the Maine hockey team.
Right. Well, all right, that just about does it for this night. We will see you again a week from tonight, next Friday night against the Northeastern Huskies. Hope you'll join us. For now, I'm Dale Duff for Scott Smith and Rich Kimball and all the production and engineering crew saying thank you very much for joining us. 5-5 overtime tie, Maine and Lake Superior. Good night, everyone.